Meeting is being recorded. Got it.
Zoom lady always freaks me out when she says that on my interviews.
Zoom lady.
Zoom lady, yes.
Hi, everybody. How you doing?
Good.
How are you?
Doing pretty well. Pretty well. Does everybody know each other?
Hi, Jesse.
Hey there, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Super.
Good. I can't say that I know Rachel.
Hey, Rachel.
Hello, hello.
There we go. I thought Rachel's going to be mute on this episode.
Who's that old man in the lower left corner?
Well, from my perspective, that's Phil. Oh,
I'm not lower. I'm not in the left. Let's try again.
are you saying I'm the old man because I'm the center square on mine?
On mine, you're the lower left, Dad.
Well,
There's also the center square in mine, just above Jesse.
yeah, I'm going to make Jesse the Bruce Valanche of this podcast. So I don't know who else is coming. I don't know if anybody else is coming. It doesn't really matter. I mean, Martha will be here eventually, but just a block party, just for everybody to kind of connect. We'll just do this for a bit and see where it goes. And, so how's everybody doing? You having a good summer?
Yeah.
Better.
Overall, yes.
Summer has been mostly good.
Yeah. I mean, last summer when we did this, it was we had relaunched the block party because of COVID and everyone felt so isolated. Is everyone feeling better about that now, or are we still kind of feeling isolated?
I mean, there's more chances to get out and stuff. I mean, I'm like diving into huge crowds, but I can at least get out and like do some stuff every so often.
Look at Phil promoting his podcast in the background there.
Yes.
Phil, I love that.
I have my Mary question shirt on. I'm the Mary question, which has been very appropriate since if you guys, I think even if you aren't a big Springsteen fan, there's been a lot of discussion in media about sways and waves on Thunder Road. And, I've had the shirt for a couple of years saying the Mary question isn't whether she sways or waves, it's does she get in the car? So so it's been pretty fun. So yeah, we're Texas has opened up, and there are a lot of people that are refusing to get vaccinated, so things are going up. Not to be Debbie Downer, but like earlier, I think last week, the Judge Jenkins, who is kind of the head of Dallas County, said, the depressing story that if you have a child that needs an ICU bed, you can't get one till the current child in the ICU bed dies.
Yeah, I read that.
And it just was like, holy moly. And I think he was specifically trying to shock people to like, hey, get up, go get vaccinated. And, and I hope that they are. It concerns me very strongly that we just need to get past this. This is crazy.
Yeah, it truly is. Well, and I was reading about it this morning. I mean, we're not going to sit here and do a political show, but I was reading about it this morning, and they said we're on the brink of another big wave. They said people that are vaccinated at least stand a good chance of it not affecting them, but the people that aren't, this could be like a serious wipeout.
Yeah.
Yet people are still going, Fauci lied.
Oh God.
I'm not getting vaccinated. We just up here by Woodfield Mall, which is used to be the biggest mall in the world. Now it's not. I don't know if it's like second or whatever, but it's not far from us. And on the corner, all during after the election or around the election, we kept having it poisoned by this Trump group that would travel through the suburbs, and it would show up on the corners. And the reason I say poisoned, whether you're a Trumper or not, you have to agree that intimidation tactics are wrong.
Yes.
And what they would do is people were reporting they'd be at Woodfield Mall in the parking lot, and these people would come up to their cars and start yelling at them and like coming up without their mask, going, "Oh, are you going to wear a mask?" And it was like,
Or like
how is that getting us anywhere?
Yeah.
My friend was in the car and like my age, a little younger than me even, and just riding with her parents, and they were all at the corner, and like she like booed them, which was not smart in hindsight, to this like group of people that were like very venomous.
Yes.
But then they started like heckling her from
like
the car.
12-year-old. I mean, come
Yeah.
on.
Going like shouting at her like, wow, well, what name one good thing Biden has done is what they were screaming at her. And it's like,
yeah. So, yeah, but my point was today we were over there, and because of that Alabama rally, they were back today.
Mm.
And I'm like, and they're all out there without their masks with big signs, don't wear your mask. And I'm like, did you guys hear what he said last night? Because Trump said to wear your mask, and he got booed, and then he backtracked on it. What are you people doing? Let's get our masks on.
Yeah. And I promise we'll get off politics, but just the absurdity of Jim Baker saying, how can you go to church and pray when you're wearing a mask? Do you think God can hear you? I'm like, really? Okay, if you believe in an infinite God, you think he has problems hearing you through a mask?
Right.
I mean,
right.
that's just ridiculous. So it's crazy.
Well, you could have stopped the sentence at the ridiculousness of Jim Baker. That would have been enough.
Absolutely, yes.
So enough politics. And
Rachel,
I love that you put your background up there too.
Yeah, I need to learn how to do this. Of course, you see that I had a friend of mine come, and so we have added a background of Springsteen posters behind mine, so that we get that. But I have my TARDIS here because when I'm doing Next Stop Everywhere, I want to make sure that's there too.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, I don't have it. Once again, I'm on with Jesse, and I don't have my sonic screwdriver within reach.
Oh,
sorry,
no,
Jesse.
that's okay.
The only thing in reach is the Lil puppet.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is not the Lil puppet.
No.
That is the Chris puppet.
Oh.
He's
got a Doctor Who logo on.
Yes.
See from here. Okay.
Yeah, if it was the Lil puppet, it would look like.
It would have the mustache.
Yeah, well, the Chris puppet normally has the goatee, but I lost it. When it's the Lil puppet, it has the dirty, like, I'm 14 and I'm trying to grow a mustache and a beard look. He's not here, so we can make fun of him.
Well,
but I do have my
There's
wand.
a Zoom filter with that mustache called the podcaster.
Yeah, that's true.
And
I don't have my Sonic with me, but I do have my wand. Look at this guy. Isn't that cool?
Who is this?
Yeah.
Brass and wood. I forget what the wood is. It's like cherry or something, but yeah, it weighs a lot. It was my wand, one of my wands, the final wand when we were doing our LARPs. So I have another ridiculous one that I was given that has like a timepiece in the middle and all this stuff. It's really cool.
I helped make that one.
Yeah,
Tiffany.
but it's awesome. But this guy, I mean, look at the detail on that. So take that, Doctor. So what do you guys think? I mean, there's some Doctor Who fans here. What do you guys think of the Michael Straczynski news that he is in talks to be the showrunner? Anybody else is like, I'm passing out over it.
Dear Santa, Jesus, Doctor Who gods,
they're all the same.
Charles and I talked at the very end of our latest episode. I just think, and I know he has the obstacle of not being British, but right. I think that the BBC would be so genius if they did that. One, he has an excellent track record of Sense8, Jeremiah, Babylon 5. He is an amazing novelist. His latest novel is just something totally unique about him, about a group of people on a bus all going to go do a mass suicide, and it's a fun book despite that subject. I just think that he would bring something really magical, and just like Jodie brought a new group of fans into Doctor Who, being a woman doctor, I believe there are plenty of JMS fans because of his comics and because of all his work that would try Doctor Who that normally hadn't in the past because of his work.
I'll vouch for that. I've never watched one episode of Doctor Who, but I might give it a try because I enjoyed all the stuff he's written and the stuff he's done for TV and stuff. I would give it a try for the first time.
I thank you, Phil. I do. Yeah. I think there is that group that would say, oh, well, hey, if JMS is doing this, I got to try this out.
I also think, I mean, if you look at so I'm a huge Babylon 5 fan. Other than the last season, which was hot trash, but that's because he thought it was canceled. If he didn't think it was canceled, he wouldn't have done that last episode in season 4 where he flipped the cards like, here's what happens. And then exactly. Like, oh, they renewed us.
Right.
Let's tell the story. That didn't work. But up to that point, especially seasons 2, 3, and 4, just magic, right? And if you look at what he did there and the way he had all the hidden, monster in a box stuff just happening that, like, as you're watching it, I'll never forget the scene on the train with, we'll call him Chekhov, which to me was one of the highlights of TV ever, when you get revealed what's going on and you go, I've been watching this the whole time and they've put the clues in front of me for 3 seasons. And if you go back and watch it, it's so damn obvious. And I don't know one person that saw it coming when that scene happened. If he did that with Doctor Who, where he builds that story, because that's where Doctor Who is, especially New Who, is so strong, right? Is that weaving a bigger story. And he knows how to write a story. I mean, I am all about this. I think it would be great. I hope it happens.
Mark my words.
I think there's a good chance, because they do want to shake things up. I mean, bringing Jodie in, that was a shake up. I don't want him to go back to like, okay, 25-year-old white male, go. No, give me something different. They started the thread with that the black woman who's a doctor. Why not just go off in that direction for a bit? Show me a season of that. I'd be way down with that. Or, I mean, they had so many things that they were starting. We didn't even watch, believe it or not, I haven't seen any of the Jodie episodes.
I've only seen one episode.
I got really sick. We were going to watch it and do Cuckoo for Who. Mm-hmm. And I got like incredibly sickest I've ever been the night we were going to watch it. Molly and Martha watched it. They came up and said, it's amazing. And then I was in bed for 2 weeks. I couldn't even see. I was so sick. Oh, and it stopped the show. It stopped everything. And it's one of those things where we've said, yeah, we're going to sit down and power through, because I was so excited for Jodie and everything I've seen looks so freaking great. But yeah, we never even got into one. So we're going to have to watch those before.
Oh,
whatever
absolutely. Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing your guys' thoughts.
Aren't they doing 3 episodes, like 3 mini movies with Jodie to wrap it up?
We're getting I think it's 6 episodes this season. It'll be out later this year. I'm presuming that they're going to be longer episodes like they were last season.
I hope.
But I haven't seen confirmation of that. And then next year we're getting like a mini series.
Yeah, they said it was like 3
and then a feature length.
Yeah.
Oh.
So kind of like they did for the end of David Tennant's run, where it was a bunch of specials.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm down for that.
Yeah, Jodie's final episode, the Regeneration episode, is going to be feature length.
Yeah, which will be good. Yeah.
Awesome. What other stuff have you guys been watching? I mean, Phil, you don't watch Doctor Who. Kevin, you haven't said a word. So what do you think?
So Phil, I got to know, are you caught up on Titans, and what are you thinking?
Yes, I watched what is it, 4 now? I really liked the first 3. I thought that they were like really strong. I thought they were the best so far. But then that 4th episode hit this season, and I'm still here for it, but it's kind of weird. Just, the whole thing with, sending Dick out into the woods with, and cutting the head off that wolf. And
we've all been there.
That just kind of
heads off wolves. What? Heads off wolves?
Talking about
Hey, Tyler.
Hey,
Tyler.
You said bringing Dick into the woods, and here's Tyler.
Hey! All right.
Hey, guy, for those of you who may not know Tyler, he likes Superman, if you cannot tell.
Yeah.
Just
a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, they were just talking about Titans. What did you think of Titans this season? I've only watched 1 episode of Titans total, so I'm not one to talk.
Yeah, I was going to say just a little bit.
This season's, I think, better, but my thing was...
That's more than me.
It just feels like they've taken stories that we know and they kind of just remixed it, and they're doing their own thing with it. It's like, you're just like, season 2 was a tick up from season 1. And there's things I like about this season so far, but I don't like the Batman on it, period. I don't like him.
Oh, there's a Batman on it?
Old man Batman.
I don't like his Bruce
Old
Wayne.
man Batman, really?
I think it's bad casting. In my head,
Who is it?
I can't remember his character he was on Game of Thrones.
They should have hired Negan.
I mean,
that's what they should have done. That would have been a great multiverse concept.
In my head canon, I call him Alfred. And here's another thing.
Ian Glenn.
Yeah. Somehow Alfred died.
Ian Glenn is playing Batman?
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne.
I mean, you see him as Bruce Wayne 99% of the time.
Yeah,
you really don't
yeah.
suit up or anything. Yeah.
But my thing is, they killed Alfred off screen in between seasons at some
They
point.
killed Jim Gordon off screen too.
Oh,
Well, we've never seen Jim Gordon though. But in season 1, Dick's talking to Alfred. Now I apply multiverse theory to it and say this season is post-crisis, and that's how I work. That's how I work stuff in my mind.
Sure.
But it's okay. Like I like it, but I don't love it. Like I wish I did. But it's better than season 1. So
yeah, I'm caught up. I've watched all 4 episodes. I had problems with season 2, the whole Dick going into jail and then going, how do you, like, there's not a trial, there's nothing going on. I mean, how do you?
That was very quick.
They're very quick, but I'm a little bit better. I'm a little frustrated that they keep killing off Titans, but
you're not encouraging me to watch this.
No, but it is good. I do think the lady who's playing Barbara Gordon is very good. And I think that's a nice twist. She's the new Commissioner Gordon. Had a great line that she was drinking bourbon and he goes, just like your dad. And she goes, no, my dad was a Scotch man, which I thought was a great line.
That's good.
But I agree with you, Tyler. I don't understand why you're going to kill off Alfred, an icon in the DC universe, with no dramatic payoff. I mean, just because he won't be at the mansion, I don't get that. I mean, if you wanted to let Alfred and Bruce go travel together, if you didn't want to cast him, but anyway.
See, I would prefer they just would have wrote Bruce out, that Bruce is gone. Kind of like how they did on Batwoman, where
they kind of did that this season. They kind of wrote Bruce out.
Right.
Yeah.
And then have Alfred, because I'm pretty sure they can use Alfred as a character. I mean, Birds of Prey used Alfred as a character.
He did.
At a couple episodes in the show.
Yeah.
So they could have had him as like the stand-in for Bruce and just been like, Bruce is off doing his thing. He's, whatever. And the Red Hood storyline, I'm trying to kind of be open-minded and just be like, okay.
Oh, they're doing Red Hood. Okay.
Yeah.
When they're doing it a little differently.
Are they doing like a Robin one where they have
it's Jason
and Red Hood? Oh,
it was just like
give me that Robin series. Bring in that kid, Damian Robin. Now all of a sudden I'm kind of down with this.
I like the idea of Red Hood kind of being a Dick Grayson story. Like, and then they've teased we met Tim Drake.
We did in the very first episode. He seemed like a good guy too. That seemed an interesting character.
So I like the idea of it being kind of this Robin battle thing, but what I don't like as of right now, and I'm trying to reserve judgment to just kind of see what their long game is just kind of how quickly Jason.
It's a DC thing, Tyler. There's no long game.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless they're gonna go back and show stuff behind the scenes. Yeah, I mean that's 3 episodes. Yeah,
unless it's because of a certain character, he had been working the angle for a while, but it was just like, oh, he died, and here's Red Hood like the next day.
Yeah, that was very quick.
But I do like what they're doing with Superboy.
Yeah, he seems to be a good character. I like him too. And we'll see if the Starfire and Blackfire works out. We'll see how that works.
Is the Superboy from the Rise of Superman, where it was the clone?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I like that character in
the
comics.
Yeah, and the actor who plays him is pretty good. And I like the idea that Garth and him seem to be bonding. Changeling / Beast Boy and Superboy seem to be. Connor, cool. They seem to be bonding, and it's pretty good. Yeah.
What I really liked was the fact that they've for the first time in super history, they found a really cool way of depicting the X-ray vision coming from him. Not like his point of view, but like you see his eyes kind of flip and do this kind of cool glow thing when he uses his X-ray vision. And
oh, that's like, cool.
That's cool. Yeah. I'm like, that's a good way of representing the power set.
I am going to say something that is on topic but off topic, because we just reviewed Suicide Squad, the Suicide Squad, for This Week of Geek. And I do want to say Doom Patrol is the better version of Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
That first season of Doom Patrol, I haven't seen the second one, but that first season, well, I loved it. Even the things that didn't work were crazy and fun. I think that's the best thing DC has going right now.
The thing about Doom Patrol, what I think works so well, is it's that show that literally most people, even a lot of comic book people, have the lowest expectations because we're not as familiar with the characters, so we can go into the show
and just have fun
without preconceived stories.
It's the reason Guardians hit so well too.
Right.
You know, most people maybe knew Peter Quill a little bit, like comic fans.
Yeah.
Maybe knew who Gamora was, but didn't really know until that movie.
So
now it's like it's on everything.
Can they do it again with Eternals?
I don't know. What do you guys think? You guys have seen the Eternals trailer, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like any of this.
What I liked about the trailer was I liked that they officially like had some sort of dialogue about why they didn't interfere with Thanos. Like, giving us something up front, so there's not a lot of debate. There's not a lot of.
But that's one of the pluses of the Marvel stuff over the DC stuff. Marvel is paying attention to those things, and they're not letting those threads necessarily fall off the same way. They've got threads, but they're also like, it might take them 4 movies. They come back and they go, no, here's why, and you go, oh, makes sense.
No,
it's kind of like Doctor Who, where like we'll give you a plot point and we'll pick it up again eventually.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Now I know that happened with the Jodie stuff. Wasn't there stuff that was like from the way back, like the second season of Doctor Who, the original, that popped up in the Jodie thing, and people were like, oh my God, they solved this thing from 50 years ago. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So staying in DC, and then I know we want to get to Marvel too, but is anyone watching Stargirl, and what are your thoughts on the second season of it?
If it's DC, I'm watching it. Even when it's bad, I'll turn it on the background while I clean the house.
Yeah.
Just to be able to have something to say for these conversations.
Hashtag DC Tyler.
Yeah.
I mean,
I love Stargirl.
Yeah, two episodes in the season 2. I think it's just as good as season 1.
I agree, and I really liked Courtney's jealousy, and then how she owns it. They didn't stretch it out. Hey, Martha.
Hi,
they didn't stretch it out. They kind of addressed it and covered it.
Yeah,
and then Starman by James Robinson is one of my favorite comics, and to have him writing the story that introduces the Shade, my little internal Starman happiness. And I know Charles Skaggs is
Starman the character that Joel McHale plays?
Yes.
This is
I loved him in the pilot. I only watched the pilot. The pilot was great, but it felt a little CW-y to me.
Well,
so I was a little nervous about that because those CW shows turn into CW shows real fast.
Right now, the two best ones they have over at the CW are Stargirl and Superman and Lois. That just
which are both shows that kind of they're CW shows, but I feel like they're a little bit removed. The Stargirl.
And by the way, James Robinson years ago took a Starman and he did a series that had a beginning, a middle, and an end. And one of the things that he challenged himself is that every character that had ever been named Starman in the DC universe, he would somehow figure out a way to connect to this guy. And the main character was the son of the Golden Age Starman. Absolutely amazing series, really well done. And one of the cool things is, how artists often get behind. So James Robinson would do Tales of Time Past, and then they would do flashback episodes using a guest artist that would fill in the universe. It is
nice.
The omnibus is definitely worth. It is an amazing story, and James Robinson is, by him, and the Shade is kind of a very complex character in this series where he's not necessarily evil, he's not necessarily good, and I hope he won't have the depth in Stargirl, but I think they'll show him at least a little bit, so that'll be a fun villain.
Well, that's the strength, I think, of Stargirl. It's like the DC's forgotten the last couple of years. Their one of their big things is legacy characters, and they need to get back to that, because they have generational characters, like Flashes, Green Lanterns. I mean, Hawkman reincarnates. I mean, they need to get back to that. That's what they have over Marvel.
What I love is Sayla loves watching it, and it's the one like DC show that I get to watch like with her. We watch as a family.
That's nice.
We watch Superman and Lois as a family too, but that's the one that they're more thrilled about watching, Stargirl, and last year I made her a little Stargirl costume and everything.
Yeah, I remember that. Those were good posts.
So
I think we just said family more than Fast and Furious.
Yeah. If you say family 3 times in a mirror, Vin Diesel appears. Okay. Especially if you're giving a dad speech to your kids, just listen for, you'll hear his voice.
Very nice.
But yeah, I just, that's what I love about that show. My if I remember right, they filmed season 2 still in Georgia. And then I think they're going to move production to Canada for season 3. That's what I'm more worried about, becoming more CW-fied, is when they pull it kind of closer, because it started out on DC Universe. It was filmed in Georgia. And it's kind of like how Black Lightning season 1 didn't feel as CW, because originally it was developed and written everything to be on Fox.
Oh, it was. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then Fox didn't pick it up. So
you can tell I don't really watch these. I watched The Flash for more seasons than I probably should have, and then it just kind of became the same thing over and over to me. Arrow, I watched the first season and thought it was really cool, and then dropped off. I don't know. They become very, like I said, CW very quick. Kind of like Riverdale became CW about 11 minutes into the first episode.
There was one good scene, and then all went downhill.
I watched the first season of Riverdale. I held on, and then I started the second season, and I was like, after I think the second episode, I was like, nope, I'm done.
Yeah, right.
I was like, I'm done.
That's why we love Doctor Who, because you could go 50 seasons deep, and even if it's not a great episode, it's a great episode. When Molly was started out in podcasting when she was 8, is that right? 6. Our family thing was we watched, and it was her fault. We watched Doctor Who, but we also first watched Once Upon a Time.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So you were saying Stargirl. For us, it was Once Upon a Time, and it was her. She was the one that said, I want to watch this show and do a podcast about it. And we said, yeah, sure, we'll do a family podcast. And then, as Martha likes to tell people, we sat down to watch it, and Molly's like, oh yeah, we're on the 3rd season, so we got it. We have 2 months to watch 24 episodes.
We started it in November, and by the following fall, like beginning of September, end of August or something, we had to finish 3 seasons in order to be able to jump into the 4th.
Episodes.
Yeah, so we did 66 episodes between November and that.
And we
had with a 6-year-old.
Yeah, a 6-year-old that we found out very early on was
a pain in our ass.
Yes, because we would wake up on like Sunday morning, and she'd be like, we're like, okay, we'd go to church, we'd come back, we're like, okay, well, let's just kind of hang out. She's like, no, we got to get 3 episodes done. Let's start watching right now.
We have to do 3 episodes before noon today. Come on, guys.
It took an hour to watch them, and then it took us like forever to freaking record the episode.
That's why you gotta set up and do like hey, this is a special where we're gonna commentate as we watch live. So you watch it as you talk. Like,
oh my God.
See, the reason we had to take forever to record was the other woman in the house
who's the other pain in the ass.
Oh my
that would be this pain in the
God. She can't, we'd watch the show, she couldn't remember like what we just watched. And then
I took copious notes.
Yeah, no, but in the beginning.
So many notes.
Yeah, then it became so many notes we had to get through all of her notes.
That's why when she says it took an hour to watch the episode, they were 20-minute episodes.
No, they weren't. They were 45.
Okay.
They were like 40.
Okay.
Well, I mean, that show.
Once upon a time,
while
it was an
got-
hour-long show.
Yeah,
After a while,
thank you, Rachel.
it got so much of just like retcon. Well,
oh yeah,
adding layers
yeah.
when they started jumping time in different lands and portals, and it was just like layer.
It became like an amazing layered soap opera.
Yeah, I mean, it got to be to the point where you're just like, wait, Henry's dad is Rumpel's son because he traveled through time and he aged.
One of our favorite
his grandpa
things,
was Peter Pan.
Yeah, it's like he's his own grandpa. What is this
it was by like the 5th season or whatever, we started like trying to map out who was everybody was related. It was like the most inbred society ever.
We always joke that Thanksgiving dinner in Storybrooke was very awkward.
Yeah.
Very awkward.
Welcome to Henry County.
And then they tried the spin-off and it just didn't work.
You know, Once Upon a Time in Wonderland we liked.
I liked it too, but it just didn't.
It didn't
have
click
the
with the
charm.
audience. Yeah.
I thought it was going to. It was kind of weird. It was a little darker. I liked that one, but Alice wasn't really charismatic.
Yeah.
You know? And Once Upon a Time had a little trouble with that. It would have charismatic, but when it hit one, like
Regina.
Regina was very charismatic. Hook was very charismatic. Rump was very charismatic. When they hit one, it was like, yeah, run with this, because all you wanted to watch was Hook through the whole thing. All you wanted to watch was Regina.
But then Emma and Snow White, like they weren't really.
Yeah, Snow White had her moments. Emma had her moments.
They
yeah,
fell off.
especially when they did the Black Swan kind of angle, and
yeah,
I haven't watched it in forever.
When we got
We
to the
hated
last
that.
season, we had to stop. Like we couldn't even finish it.
Yeah, when they did
because
the
it was
like
so
soft
bad.
reboot.
Yeah, I
When
never
they-
watched
Oh my
that.
God, with all
Don't.
the kid.
With the food truck.
The food truck,
Yeah.
or how like, she
Storyline.
went around
Oh.
doing signatures for like
Ugh.
climate change or something, and it was so
We-
bizarre.
It
We were gonna-
should have ended the season before.
Yeah.
There was
Yeah,
no
we
reason
were gonna
for
do
it
the
to come
complete-
back.
I didn't like the season.
Did you make it the whole way through, Rachel? Did you
Oh,
see
yeah.
the food? And how did you survive
was
that
it?
last season?
Well, I mean, we survived, but I didn't like it.
We didn't finish it because
No,
we
we
couldn't
got-
get through it.
What did we get? Like 6 episodes in, we were sitting down to do the whole thing to get us there and finish out our podcast, because we did every episode. And like 6 episodes in, we're like, we need to stop this. This is torture. So we went and watched the final episode and did a show about that and wrapped up our series. We're just
We
like,
never
I'm so
finished
sorry.
the final.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did. We finished the
did.
show.
That's how
Yeah.
bad it is, Molly. You don't even
Oh,
remember.
yeah,
You
I
just
thought,
watched
did.
it.
I thought we fast forwarded through parts and only watched parts.
No,
of
we
the
watched
final.
it. No,
We,
we watched
we
the final
medicated
episode.
you so that you could survive it.
It was kind of like trying to watch the Gotham final.
Yeah, you want to hear me cry? You can listen to that episode, because I cry during that.
Oh,
The Gotham final was like a new pilot for a show that
Was
we were
it?
never going to get.
I never
no.
made it. It got. I was really liking it. It was so convoluted, but the last couple seasons, I can't even remember where I left off.
Yeah.
Uh,
It got crazy and weird. And if you just skip ahead and you watch, like Rob, like I could say, hey, there's this new show, go check it out. I could put in the final for Gotham, and you would think it's a pilot for a new show,
Really?
because it's like the pilot for a Batman show you're never gonna get. Is what it
Wow.
was.
That's
It was-
really
That's
depressing.
The real end of Gotham was the episode before the penultimate, or what?
Yeah, that's the penultimate.
Because then
Yeah.
they do a time jump and they replace an actress and do all this kind of stuff, and it just felt weird. And then you're like, oh, okay, yeah. And then
Yeah.
you have the horrible Batman suit.
If you want to fix all your DC problems, Phil and his team have a GoFundMe to buy the DCU.
Well, yeah, Phil, you did the buy the DCEU GoFundMe. So how far did you get with that?
Nowhere.
Absolutely nowhere.
No.
Poor Phil.
Really asking for like a couple $100 million. That's like,
I
come on.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
how much is your favorite characters at DC worth to you guys? Come on, we'll fix everything.
Chump change. That's all.
You
it
know
was.
what? Give them time. They'll be worthless. They're working on it.
You know what? I could see the day where they sell everything except the Batman stuff. Because it seems like they're doubling down on Batman, because like, what is it? November, they said half the comic books that are coming out in November from DC are going to have something to do with Batman, or Batman's going to be in it.
Yeah, well, he's the number one character. Him and Spider-Man are the top 2 characters for merchandising and everything. And
Well,
it's the one thing they get consistently right. Even when they get it wrong, people still flock to it.
Yeah.
That's why, I mean, they've oversaturated the Joker and everything.
Sure.
With the Batman books. I'm surprised they're not going to just do this Batman 89 as like a continual book, that they're just doing it for like the 6 issues. Like it's surprising.
Unless it sells through the roof, then of course they'll probably do like a series of miniseries. Yeah.
Or they'll do Batman Returns, will be like the sequel to Batman Returns.
Batman Returns with a 3 above it. Is it 2? Is it 3? What is it?
I mean, it's interesting, you know.
But yeah, they're doing a Batman 89 comic. I mean, they're giving you everything we didn't get before, like we're getting more Billy D. Williams, Harvey Dent, and
I don't know why they just don't take the unproduced scripts that they own and make
that's what the
comics.
Batman 89 is based on, the actual script that the original screenwriters wrote.
I wonder, because like that one, I haven't read was it about 6 years ago? There was like the big thing that they put out that had all like the unproduced Batman projects, like descriptions and details.
Yeah.
And it talked about the Sam Hamm and script where it was like a treasure under Gotham or something. And it had Catwoman in it. And that was the one that they rejected to do Batman Returns. It had the breakdown for Batman Triumphant / Batman Unchained. So I think they should just do those as books just to kind of see.
Yeah, why not?
Exactly. I mean, people.
If you're not producing it as a film, I've always said that they should do that. That was back when Alien versus Predator first happened, and I remember talking to my friends about it, going, "Look, we may never see this happen. It was an idea. They should just make comic books." And then, boom, Dark Horse starts making the comic books, and then it became a movie, and then it became a really bad movie. But that's how you do it. You get these ideas and you produce them until, hey, there's an interest in this thing.
I mean, how many people would love to have seen the Nick Cage Superman? It would have been horrible, but I'm still curious to see what it would look like.
I'm all about that.
You know what I'm saying? So give me that as like a comic or an animated movie.
Absolutely.
The Kevin Smith Superman, so yeah, that would be interesting. I know the script's out there online.
There's 3 versions to the script.
Yeah.
There's the Kevin Smith,
but it's Kevin Smith. It would have taken like 20 years to come out, though.
The Dan Gilroy, and then wasn't it Wesley Strick did a 3rd one? So it was Kevin Smith, Wesley Strick, and Dan Gilroy, I think, were the 3 that did the rewrites for Superman Lives and had the script. And I think the last one.
I just want to see Nicolas Cage as Superman. That's all I want to see.
Yeah.
And I want to see him doing his Elvis impression as Superman. That would be a movie.
That's Superman.
But no, I mean that Batman 89 is interesting. They might slip some stuff in there because Sam Hamm's writing it.
Yeah. And I didn't realize that his partner died. His co-writer died like 90, 91, shortly after Batman came out. So I'm like, it always kind of makes you wonder when there's a writing duo and you're like, oh, I love this. And then only one of them does something. And you're like, which one was really the good one? Or were they both just had it together, but not separate?
Kind of like the podcast Martha and I do together. Which one is the good one?
We do a podcast?
There we go. Well, Broken and Brave is one of the best things we've ever done. So I think
that's just us sitting on our couch talking. I don't remember you actually recording
Martha, those times where you guys are just talking or arguing or whatever, and he's holding his phone out.
Yeah.
You think he's like looking at it? No, he's recording that.
Yeah, he's actually recording.
Yeah, like he's just
constantly calling it Broken to Brave. Like, what is that?
There's live mics in every room of that house. Get out.
There are some secret recordings that I have played that they're not that secret. I record it and I'm like, hey, I just recorded that. She's like, oh my God, no. Yeah, those will never surface.
Like us
but they're
watching
hilarious.
X-Files?
Yeah. I also have a file of farts, and that's from when I was editing all the shows. You people fart a lot. Yeah.
You do not have a file that you
I have a file of farts.
That's hilarious.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But you have to be on the you have to subscribe to the Patreon. Yeah, exactly.
You were sending them to me and my friends through Alexa last night. So
I was sending fart noises, yes.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Those were all Mom though. They weren't me.
Oh.
No.
The lying that happens
there's
here.
just there's just the Southgate house just constantly is recorded. Like there's like a live feed that's just recorded to a big server that Rob just downloads
he's
every
streaming
night.
every room in that house 24/7.
Tyler, there was a point when an indie filmmaker that we know wanted to make a reality show out of our network and out of our house. He wanted to put cameras in here and everything. Can you imagine, Martha? Oh my God. You guys don't know anything.
I want it. Yes.
I was with my friend last night, and it was just the two of us sitting there, and the entire time she kept saying like, well, guys, oh, sorry, guys, and kept like motioning. I'm like, what are you doing? Are there secret cameras in here? And it was very creepy. And
my wife and I have watched The Office so many times that we'll just talk, and I'll just look like this and be like, I look back at her. I'm like
that's one way to freak people out.
I'm like, she's like, what are you? I'm like, I don't know. Just looking at the cameras.
Yeah, all I can say is it would have been quite the show, but I don't know if anybody'd watch it except you guys.
Mom, I'm sure you would love that. Right?
At least 7 people would.
Martha's a show. That's
what I'm
worried on Martha. You guys already have the Rob show. Just listen to the 18,000 hours of podcasting where I just ramble. The Martha show is the show you want to see.
Oh yeah.
She's the party.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So Jesse, we're going to do in September, we're watching that Springsteen movie and we're going to be on your show. You're muted.
Yes, being a good guy. Yes, what I really am looking to do is Bruce had done an album called Western Stars. And because he knew he wasn't going to tour, this was before COVID, he has this fabulous barn on his property that so he brought in a band, including a string section, and he invited a few friends over, and they do the whole Western Stars album from beginning to end. And then between songs, they have him talking and they film in other video. So Tom Zimini, who has done several Springsteen documentaries, and so it is a 1.5-hour movie of basically him performing live and then kind of him talking about the songs. And then, I think since as you two are not, massive Springsteen fans, it would be interesting to watch the film. And then I want you guys to join me to comment not just on the music, but the actual film itself. So it is a very...
Yeah, we're down with that idea.
Yeah, it's...
I'm excited for this show.
Yeah, it's a very, Glenn Campbell style album.
Rhinestone Cowboy.
Yeah, well, he does Rhinestone Cowboy. That is
Glenn Cowboy.
Yeah, that is the last song on the album. Not on
Rhinestone
the album,
Cowboy?
but on the phone. He covers Rhinestone Cowboy.
That's awesome.
At
Mom,
the very
you gotta
end of
see
the
it
film.
because that is your favorite song.
Rob, you just look like they were orangutan at the zoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
I'll take my shirt off and I'll look more like one.
Yeah, and so it is in that kind of style of the writer of a lot of those songs. And so I thought it would be a lot of fun for September because Set Listing Bruce hit 6 years.
6
to have
years.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we made a season, Rob. And then so I thought it would be fun, right? If you guys watch this, then I'll record it and we'll sit down and just talk about the movie and the songs.
What you guys don't know is we told Jesse we wanted a season. We wanted 12 episodes, and it's 6 years later. You're going to hit 12 episodes.
Yes, I am. Yes.
In September.
Yes.
Nice.
So yeah. It is still kind of interesting to think that 700 episodes later, I'm still finding Springsteen fans that want to talk to me. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, and so I've got also the lady Sarah, who used to manage back when there used to be AOL groups, like fan groups, mailing lists.
Yeah.
So Sarah Price was the moderator of an Aaron Sorkin mailing list I was on. After every episode of West Wing, we talk and talk and talk. So she's joining me, and we're going to pick our top 5 Sorkin musical moments. throughout all his shows. And so one other thing is there's that great scene where Brothers in Arms is playing when they're at the cathedral. So she's going to pick her 5 picks. I'm going to pick my 5. We're going to have that. So I think that'll be a fun episode.
Very cool.
Kind of combining my love of Aaron Sorkin plus music. So
love it.
You all should guest on Set Listing Bruce. It's a fun time. You guys like music. Go on and talk about what music you like, because I go on and talk about music I like, which is not necessarily Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, Kevin's been on, Phil's been on. So
I'm scheduled, but the first opening wasn't until like October.
Yeah.
Oh, that's episode 13, huh? I didn't know we had one.
Do a B-side with Jesse.
Yes, and so and you should check, Rachel. I added some Monday, Tuesday slots. Because what I was trying to do is just do Wednesday nights and then Saturday mornings, but I added a couple of Monday and Tuesday because I want to have some extra. So, and Tyler, you're welcome to join me and we could talk Superman.
Hey, we'll talk about Bruce Springsteen appears in one of my favorite movies. It's like a small part, but in High Fidelity. Rob's talking and he's like, "Thanks, boss." He's like,
"Yes, absolutely.
You'll feel better. She'll feel better."
Yeah.
So when we had our store 20 years ago, that movie came out, and the kids that worked for us all said I was Rob.
You're like, duh. My name is Rob.
I'm guesting on How Many a month ago, and they started telling me, "Hey, you guys ever see High Fidelity? You know who Rob reminds me of?" I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
They're like Jack Black's character.
Yeah, right.
Oh no.
Yeah, well, he does create bands as fast as he can create songs. So I do think maybe I resemble him a little bit in that respect. So
don't you know who I am? I was on Jingle All the Way.
Yeah. No, you resemble that other guy, that Poser or whatever.
Yeah, Martha says I look like Brian Posen now because I got the big nose and these glasses.
Wait, I'm looking him up.
Wait, did she call Rob a poser?
Yeah, well, I can't remember the guy's name, but he looks like that.
Oh yeah, Brian Posehn. Yeah, but he's like he's a lot taller than Rob, I think. So.
Yeah, it's just taller. It's just like around the facial region.
Yeah,
you do a little bit.
Yeah, but if you see us standing next to each other, he's like hunched over more, but we're about the same height. But Brian, I met him at.
Yeah, that photo.
I know you guys are gonna make fun of me because I've met everybody.
There you go.
I met him, and I have. There he is. Okay, now show a picture of Brian. When I met him because he had written a Deadpool series, and I got him to hold up a sign that said "Enough said." I told him about the podcast, but at the end of his line to meet him, they put up a sign that said "Enough said," and I stole it, so he no longer had an end to his line. Got it. And he was like, "Is this why my line isn't ending?" Yes, it is. So yeah, that's I met him, and now I look like him. So. just like all babies look like old men, they all look like my dad or Chris Farley. All Gen Xers eventually look like Brian Posehn. So
I disagree.
All Gen Xers. All right, Mom, get ready.
I disagree wholeheartedly with that statement.
Okay. All right. Well, that's painful then. I had another question. Rachel,
wait. If you were talking about how you look like, I'll throw this out there. The one question when I met Michael Rosenbaum, okay, I wanted to ask him a question, but then I just kind of blanked because I was trying to mentor my kids. I was like, everyone always says that when I was younger, I looked like a little bit like Keanu Reeves. Okay, time changes, I don't look like him as much, but I still look like Harlan Williams. You know?
I see it.
Now I got a good one.
And I was like,
I see it.
People have said that. So I was like, all right, I'm going to ask Michael Rosenbaum. He did a movie with him. He directed a movie with him. He was in it. I totally forgot to ask him.
What's his name again?
Tyler, I see it in this light. I definitely see it.
Who?
Yeah, look up Sorority Boys. Look up Sorority Boys.
So,
but don't look at all the pictures.
For the longest time,
I see.
Yes.
I was a couple of times at a baseball game. This little kid was staring at me, and the mom came and said, "Are you the guy from Jurassic Park?"
No way!
Yeah. And I said no, but I have been told I look like Wayne Knight. So yes,
Okay,
so
pull him out.
And you know what?
I used to always get Matilda. People would always say I look like
props
Matilda.
to that kid for not saying you're the guy from Space Jam. So
yes. So yes.
Wayne Knight.
Yeah.
From now on, when I'm on your show, I'm going to go, Jesse.
Yeah, exactly. So
There's
yes.
Jesse.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So he looks like Wayne Knight. He has the name Jesse Jackson.
Yes, very confusing.
Trying to be a celebrity impersonator, aren't you?
Yes, exactly. Yes.
So I had a question for Rachel.
Okay.
Who do you look like? No, that's not my question.
What do you look like?
My question
Depends on what my hair is doing that particular day.
is you, 5-ish fangirls,
Mhm.
did a con finally. You went to Indie Pop Con. Nobody's been to a con in forever. How was it?
It was.
Was it busy?
I mean, all things considering, yeah. Yeah.
Which one did you go to?
Indie Pop Con.
Nice.
Oh, Pop. Okay. It was sort of busy.
I mean, all things considering, there were still people very hesitant about being out.
So was the cosplay, a lot of it like masked and incorporating the masks? Or were they just like, Booster from Jingle All the Way with a mask on?
Yeah.
That'd be a great
No, not really. It was because that was back in a month ago, mid-July.
Oh, and people thought they could go without the mask.
Yeah.
Oh, so
And
no
I would
mask.
think cons where you're in cosplay. I mean, that's a perfect chance. Put on a Darth Vader helmet and put a mask on it. No one's gonna know.
Yeah.
You could rock that place out.
I know there was
It'll
a
even
con
help
here
your
like
voice sound.
there was a con here last weekend, and they weren't requiring masks, but they were doing temperature checks on everyone as they were walking in the door, I guess. I didn't go.
I went to a con at the beginning of August, and there were probably only 10 of us wearing masks.
Oh wow!
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's because PopCon they had to follow whatever the
state
convention center
Right.
was doing as far as protocol. But now I really doubt anything will change. Gen Con will be requiring masks.
See, I'm gonna just wear a mask after COVID because there's nothing more thrilling than walking into a store with a hat on, sunglasses, and a mask, and realizing that I'm not gonna rob the place and nobody cares that I look like I'm gonna rob the place.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a thrill of its own, You just walk in like completely covered. No one knows who you are. It's like cosplay all the time.
Yeah.
I had someone at a store once say that to me because I showed up and I had I had a helmet on because I had been on my bike and I had a mask.
Let's face it, Molly wore a helmet until she was 14. So
it's off right now, but it's right next to me. No, but I had a helmet on and I had a mask on. I've got my glasses, and the one was like just kept staring at me, the cashier, and I was like, "What is going on?" And she's like, I can't see. I can barely see any part of your face." And I was like,
"You're like, yeah."
Are you Brian Poston's daughter? That's what they said.
Yeah.
This is the new normal. Get used to it.
There is.
I know that a lot of celebrities are liking it because they can do things like go out and normal and no one knows it's them because they're masked. So I can see the value for people like that too.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go with that. I love I wear my mask.
Yeah, I'm happy to wear my mask.
Not outside, but inside, anywhere indoors.
And I'm waiting for more cool ones to come out. Like Tom Savini made a limited edition of the Friday the 13th mask.
Yeah, Chauncey
and
just got
phenomenal.
Yeah, Chauncey just got us these.
Oh,
cool.
Those are cool.
The Metallica.
Yeah. I ordered one that was for the Boba Fett. It was the bottom. It was supposed to be the bottom part of the mask, and it was super cool in the picture. And then we got it. I mean, it's one of those gator masks, and it was $5. I wasn't going to use it as my main mask, but I thought, oh, this will be cool. It's terrible. It's like they just screen printed his helmet. So it's like when you put it on, you'd have to put the helmet all the way up here to make it look like the helmet. So bad.
So you got to cut eye holes.
But I mean, if people had fun with the masks, if you could create cool looking things, on our TeePublic, we can have masks for all our shows. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Yeah. So if you have design ideas, we can make designs. If you want to make designs, do it. And we can promote those because they're super cool.
Yeah. While we're on the subject of promoting, where are we at with the YouTube channel? Is it getting close to 1,000?
No.
Where are we at?
Okay, so if we're going to talk business for just a second here, it's a block party. No, we're not even close. I just threw that out there that night to say, hey, it's our anniversary, and wouldn't it be great if everybody subscribed? We have not been pushing it, so we're only at like 340 or something. We're at
215. Well, now 216 because I just subscribed.
Yeah, but it's funny, we are picking up like one a week here and there. We've got tons, thousands of hours of stuff on there, but there are some things that we need to do as a company to make them a little more attractive. We're not putting the show notes that have the tagging in it, so it's not attracting the way it should. At some point, we're going to focus on that. Right now, we've got other irons and other fires that we're focusing on. But it's going to be a while before we hit that sweet 1,000. And even at that, YouTube's stupid. You hit 1,000, that's when you can monetize. We used to be monetized.
Yeah.
And then they changed the rules and said you had to have 1,000 subscribers. Boom, we're not monetized anymore.
That's the way to get inside. YouTube's stupid.
You guys hear me?
Well, they're stupid.
Oh, yeah.
Gordon,
we can hear you, Scott.
Yeah, hey, Scott. Gordon, it's Conspiracy Guys.
Scott,
they had a YouTube channel, a huge YouTube channel. And they pulled the plug on it because of the same thing. They had like 50,000 subscribers, and they said, we're having this many views and we're getting a $10 check a quarter. They're like, what is wrong with YouTube? So they went to Discord. They're doing other things. We're trying. That's why we have that Patreon thing. I would rather it be all Patreon, and then the YouTube. Yeah, if we can get to 1,000 subscribers, it's just for reach.
Yeah.
It's literally a marketing tool, but the
Yeah.
Patreon channel is where it's at. That's what we want to promote. Patreon channel and newsletter.
In a quarter mile, turn right onto East Walton Street.
You're doing
Okay, did you guys all get that at a quarter mile?
Turn right.
Quarter
mile.
Got it.
Yeah.
Quarter mile, turn left onto the internet.
Yeah, my YouTube channel, I'm trying to do like more as like a promotion tool. Right now, I'm doing unboxing videos because for some reason,
They're
people like to
popular.
watch people open toys. So
Yeah.
I just buy toys and let my kids unbox them and make fun videos.
Yeah, they love it. You know,
I mean-
you're better off if you're trying to monetize is make a TikTok, do a TikTok and do those unboxing videos on TikTok. That's where you can gain a lot more audience and you can gain a lot more potential to make money.
Yeah, I've only
I
been
just
on
can't
TikTok
buy-
like a few weeks. So.
I can't bite the bullet to do TikTok because then I just feel like I've I don't know, sunk to a new low. I don't know why.
I feel like an old lady who's like,
Look, I
come
was,
into like
an old lady,
the
look at
kids
me.
are like, can I play?
I was
Can I play on your
substituting.
TikTok?
I was substituting and I was listening to the two teachers' aides who are a little bit older than me when it was break and we had a free period describe how they couldn't wait to get on TikTok and they talked about videos and doing video. And I'm just like, why do I feel old?
Mhm.
I'm like,
No,
I just don't, it's
I
just
feel
not my
that way
thing.
too.
I looked at it as a business thing, and just getting on to sign up, all the crap that's just in your face, I couldn't do that. Like that's
Yeah,
For me, it's just figuring
way
out
too
how
much
it works.
overload.
Like
Well,
as far as like actually
eventually-
making videos
Yeah,
Mhm.
eventually
that work on there.
we're going to do one of the things we're planning to do is start making some training videos for some of these things for our network. So like I can go through and say, okay, here's how you do TikTok. Here's how you get on. Here's like some basic things. We're planning on doing a little bit more of that. I'm going to use it in those podcasting groups. Some of the stuff will be in-house. Some of it will be for the mass, but this is a big question. People can't figure some of this stuff out. Even, I mean, look at how much we do with Twitter and Instagram and all that. Martha can attest. I was in the car today finding new things and going, oh, I just figured this out. Oh, I just figured out this and we're gaining here. It's so much, but as content creators, which is what we are, we do need to be savvy. We do need to be playing ball where we can. TikTok is an avenue where the audience is huge. Our friend Serena,
All
who's
right, fine, Rob, I'll
a
do it.
really
Yeah, you can do
excellent
it. You can do it.
comic book artist. Yeah, but you don't have to do it on your own. That's why we're going to do some trainings and talk about all of these things. But Serena is an artist, and she jumped on, and she was the one that got us lit up about it. She's like, yeah, I jumped on for Mermaid, where she was drawing a mermaid every day, and then she would film it on TikTok. And she started getting so much traction just by filming her mermaid drawings. Now she's on there. She does like 2 or 3 little videos a day. They're short, and she'll do these reaction videos. And she's like, I'm having a blast. And she said, once you start to understand, oh, this is how the tagging works. Oh, this is how I stay in my lane to do what I want to do. And I don't have to worry about the other stuff. She's getting real traction. She's going to come over here and do a training for the 3 of us, and then we'll filter it outwards to you guys.
Hey Rob, if you have any questions on TikTok, Lilith has been playing on there for at least a couple months.
Yeah, of course she has.
Yeah, she's always our best. Yeah.
Lilith is going to get tapped to come back on New Media Lab because New Media Lab is changing. Finally, we figured it out. It's taken years to figure it out. It is, and I'm going to get Lilith back because she and I used to do social media Mondays. And we had the best time. And every time both of us would end up like, ooh, I found something new. And the other one go, I didn't know about that. Oh. We're both such nerds about it that it was a blast. She told me she's on whenever I want her. She's back. So now that I have a concept for the show, it's been floundering. It will be back. And we're going to be definitely tagging that stuff.
Yeah, she's the best in the business. Why do you think I do 20 different things with her?
Yeah. She is. Well, it's amazing. Yeah. No offense to you, Jesse, because you're the best.
No. I get it. I understand. I would love, right, to just be able to record and edit and then just send it out there. Promoting is a whole different skill set.
Right.
That is not something I'm as comfortable doing. Like I think Charles writes a really good show synopsis for Next Stop Everywhere, right?
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, here's a new Springsteen fan. Enjoy the episode, right? Like I'm trying to remember as I'm recording. One of the things I changed up about a year ago is I take a blurb from the interview and use that as the introduction before the music.
That's amazing.
And I try to remember, okay, at 18 minutes in, they're talking about, like when Zan was on talking about her parents went and saw Elvis for the filming the live from Aloha. I'm like, okay, well, that's got to be my blurb, and so kind of check that. But I do a bad job of writing notes so that when I'm trying to write a summary of the episode, I'm focused on the interview and talking and back and forth. And then, 3 weeks later when I'm going to edit, I'm like, now what did they talk about again? So
yeah.
Okay, I have a question. I'm gonna pose a question, then we can get off the business part of it. Because nobody's gonna want to listen to this except you guys.
Yeah.
Or our competitors, you guys. Like they're competiters, right?
There's so many.
Here's my question. I mean, we've been talking the last
hires them all.
We've been talking the last week about communication. We've seen a little uptick. It seems to be a little bit better. But like for this, so the stuff you guys are saying, these are things that I have knowledge of, and there are other people in the company that might have knowledge of it. What do you guys think is the best way to okay, Jesse, with the show notes? One thing that I experimented with it a lot. I finally came down to, okay, if I'm not great at writing show notes or coming up with show notes, I have a standard show note thing that has all the links and everything. I write one sentence and I add whatever link I want to it, and that's it. And now my show notes look good. They have all this juicy stuff in them, but I'm only writing one sentence a week. But you don't know that. Where can we do this? How can we spread this information? Do I need to make like training videos like once a week, like a 5-minute video? Would that help?
That could be cool. Like, just
do you guys want to guest on Media Lab each week and come up with a question? I know Chantal was on repeatedly.
Yeah.
Asking, like we did a thing each week, and that was great. What would work?
Well, and that's funny you mentioned that, because I was noticing that, Charles writes a really good description of, what on Titan Talk or, Fandom Zone, and he'll even mention if we go off on tangents, but he always ends with us, find us here. And then he has the link to everyone. So
yeah,
I copied that and went in there and changed it to all the Set Lusting Bruce links, right?
Sure.
And so now then I have that.
That's great.
Exactly what you said, right? So, the issue sometimes is, is I think we all get focused in our own silo and forget that we have a network out there that can help us. And, I'm struggling with what I'm worried about or what I'm doing. And I forget that,
Phil, the reason we're here is to help each other.
Phil may have already covered this, or Tyler might already have, oh yeah, I had that struggle and here's my answer to fix it. I do that in my day job as a contact center manager, right? Like I'm part of groups and I'll send out like, hey, I'm struggling with this. Do I have any advice? I don't ever think about going to you guys because, sometimes candidly it's chirp, we get crickets,
right?
And other times I'm just not thinking ahead on, hey, I should be asking my siblings, my podcast siblings, for help.
Yeah, the crickets are the thing that frustrate me to no end, because I feel like we put stuff out there and I know that people are reading it, but some people aren't. And then even like today, how many times did we say we were doing this? And then yesterday somebody wrote me and was like, oh, what is this? And I'm like, I put it on the Facebook group. I put it in the Slack group.
It's been
how
long?
else?
Like a month? Or...
Yeah. How else do I get this across? The marathon. Thank God, Rachel. Thank you. As soon as we can pay you to be our admin person, we are going to make you official, because even that form has helped so much.
Good.
But I gotta say, like, we can't sell the marketing.
So you were able to access it then?
No, I haven't looked yet. I haven't had time. No, but the information you've given me so far has been amazing. She just got me that last night. We were out driving. But the info, like getting everybody to just commit, so I know what shows and all that, is vital to the Kickstarter that launches tomorrow, is vital to getting the sponsorship that we need, is vital to the whole marketing and PR process, which now, what are we going to be a week before I finally know? I mean, yikes. So that's where, like, we got to up that communication. Jesse, you just said it beautifully, though. We're all in our own silos. Yeah, we are. What we're forgetting is not just that the network can help from those silos, but the network needs all of us to make the network better. The stronger the network. So, like, here, let me put it this way. So you have 10 shows, right? Each show is doing its own thing. If they start sharing things very specific, we say, like, everybody just share when a new episode hits. Now you've got 10 shows sharing your stuff, right? That strengthens those 10 shows. And as a network, it builds the network brand. What happens when the network brand goes up?
Everyone's goes up.
Everybody's, all the boats rise and the network rises. And I can give you a perfect example of it that happened yesterday. I posted that video about the marathon, about the Kickstarter. I just said, hey, could everybody just do this? About, I don't know, a third of the shows retweeted it and did the Facebook thing. Typically, when we do a post, when I do a tweet from Southgate Media Group, from SMG Pods, it gets like 200 engagements, right? Or 200 impressions and like sometimes a couple of engagements. This, here, I'll tell you where we're at right now. That post, because about a third of you did this.
I just retweeted it from another account.
Rock
I did
on.
it earlier too.
I retweeted.
Okay.
Yes.
So with that, we're at 1,300 impressions, 175 media views. That means 175 watched the video. And 74 engagements, which means they clicked on it trying to go somewhere. That's huge. Now, imagine if
everyone did it.
All 10 shows did that. and they had the link that went to their thing. And now if we only had 7 shows that did this, but we have, let's say it's all 10 shows do this, and you've got 1,300 hits. Okay. The next week you get 1,300 hits. What happens? You guys are all in business. You know that you have exponential growth. So every time you do it, they start knowing that you do this, and it's going to go 13, 15, 18. And what's going to happen is you're going to have followers on your social media. Like I did this with Gaming with Scott. He did everything I said, and he went from 130 followers on Twitter in October to at Christmas that year. We did a Christmas party, and he was so happy to announce he hit 30,000 followers.
All right, you're gonna have to type that up and send that back this way, Rob, because I got stuff going on in the background. I was like listening.
Well, I'm gonna post this. You can listen to it.
Yeah,
I think this is an instructional video you need to share, Rob, because I mean, I think the people in this room are sharing the stuff when they need to share it. I think there's other.
I'm about growth. I mean, one of my biggest growth plans on Facebook was I targeted people that liked certain groups that I liked, and I went, during Superman Celebration, like people who were friends with people who were in like the Celebrate, and just started friending all of them.
Beautiful.
And you know what I'm saying? And then once we were friends, just kind of starting to post.
Friending them on Facebook?
Yeah. And then that's just how I started growing that.
You just hit on it. For Twitter growth, do the same thing. Go for the hashtag Superman Celebration. And every person that follows that hashtag, follow them.
Well,
then eventually you can use a tweet scrub and get rid of all the junk. The people that don't follow back and the people that are not real, just scrub them out of there and your thing will grow. Now, here's the other part of that trick. You do that consistently for a couple of months, and you're going to watch your numbers go really up, but you're going to have this really weird offset of you're following 1 million people and you're getting 10,000 followers, right? Yeah. Then you scrub them out, and there is a thing that we'll just call the golden ratio that is kind of a secret. Try to look it up. You're not going to find it, but we figured it out. You know how you're on Twitter and it will have, it usually is bigger brands, and it will say, like, if you like this, follow this, right? Mm-hmm. That's because they've got a specific ratio of followers to following. And if you can maintain that, you will pop up in that. If you like this, you're going to like this. Mm-hmm. It's a very specific ratio. You have to keep doing the math, but you don't have to do it every day. Go in once a month and look at your math and go, oh, wow, I'm about 100 followers over. I'm 1,000 followers over the ratio. Dump a bunch of people, and you'll get back there. I'll share all that. Okay, so you guys are asking for these trainings. So I'm going to ask you guys for one thing then. Sorry, Jamie, welcome. I didn't want you to feel like we're having a business meeting. They just started asking questions, and I can't stop. Oh, Jamie left.
Got rid of him.
He's had enough. Here's what I'm going to ask.
He was like, done.
You guys, and I wish everybody, but when I post these things, can you just put a like on it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I just need to know somebody's listening.
Yeah. I
that's
hear
killing
you,
me.
Rob. Yeah.
It's killing me.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
can I throw out two things? Like I told you, Rob, I'm in a group, the Collective, with a bunch of other podcasts that aren't even in this network.
Ray is in it.
Yeah, all we have is a DM Twitter, and where it's like when someone has an episode. Oh yeah.
We have the Collective of Justice.
Yeah.
Well, when someone throws,
that's another one.
When someone has a new episode, they just throw the link to the Twitter, and everyone retweets it and likes it. And...
Okay, Phil, can you set that up for our network?
Sure.
Can you make one of those for our network? Now, here's the thing. I talked to Ray. Ray's in our network because of you, and he runs that. And I asked him if he wanted to be part of the network, and he didn't jump on it because I don't think our network offers the value it should because of this.
Yeah.
He loves our network. Every time I talk to him, he's like, it's like when I talk to Nick. Oh my God, I think Nick wants to move in with me. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Martha's about to do a swap.
I think Martha would go for it too. She's like, oh, can I sit on the couch? Does he cook? Molly will take a rest.
Will clean stuff?
Come here.
Yeah. But seriously, Ray was like, oh, all about talking about this stuff. But I could tell there was a little hesitance, and I know exactly what it is. Why join a network? Why be part of this?
Yeah.
if that part of it isn't the functioning part, yeah, I can offer the training and the help and all that. But if we were working properly as a network, this is what the real thing is. Like Jesse, you said you don't love the promotion part of it. You know what? How hard is it to make a couple of tweets a week, a couple of Facebook posts, and then just retweet everybody else's stuff and have kind of a ritual to it? We just got to make it easy, and we got to get everybody on board. And if we do that, we will grow. We're this huge network that nobody knows about.
Yeah.
And when I analyze other networks, most of them do this like shit.
Yeah.
Oh, Molly, earmuffs.
Yeah, and I do think that, one of the things, and it's easy to say, like, Rachel's already booked to join me. We're going to, Phil has been on the show. I've sent, voicemails when he's asked, like, hey, I'm having a special episode. Can you send feedback on this? So Phil and I work. Kevin and I routinely, about every 6 to 9 months, he's like, okay, it's time, Jesse. Are you ready to join me? Or like, hey, I'm ready to, to join.
Every 6 to 9 months. It's every 27th of November. Because that is the anniversary of the Kevin Long. And I don't know if it, like, I find it, as we talk about this, it's even more, call it a bond, that Jesse and I have the same anniversary. Like, it really has become a brotherhood between the Kevin Long show and Set Listing Bruce, that, like, we can't have a show without the kids coming on and saying hi, Jesse, and talking about how they're doing in school.
I love all that.
What they want for Christmas. And it really has become a brotherhood.
That's really tipping into what our network is too.
To that extent, when Jesse says, hey guys, go do these things, I'm ready to do it.
Yeah.
But like, there are other, like when Rob when he did the pods, then okay, all the gaming groups are going to be in this pod. I was hesitant because I struggle with this every day. Why should I share your stuff if I'm sharing your stuff and getting nothing in return?
I agree, and that's where we should be a unified front.
Like, I'll share Bill's stuff in a heartbeat.
But we should be a unified front on
that. I'm just like, you know what? I've shared your stuff, and
okay, I'm gonna interrupt. I've got 2 things I want to address.
Sure.
First thing is, hey Jamie.
Hi.
Hey Jamie, how you doing?
And then there's a third thing, which is going to be back to Jamie, but in the middle. So Chantal, when we do the podcast marathon, do not record it on this. You're so choppy. Your Wi-Fi is terrible. You want to make sure you record it in a way that looks and sounds good. And this is a note for everybody, but yours, because it's crapping out right now, is a great example. Film it at home, make it sound good, make it whatever. And another trick you can use is, if you're going to do an interview, let's say, go ahead and do it on Zoom. Try to get your lighting right, like play around with that a little bit. I can work with you on that if you want. When you record on Zoom, it gives you both audio and video. I also suggest turn on like Audacity and hit record on your end, so it records your track alone. It's not running through the internet, then it's running through your computer, and we'll get, even if you're choppy on your phone call, we'll get a clean version of you. Cool. And that's just, I'm using you as an example because right now you're choppy as hell.
Yeah, no,
fine. We're going to have I guess I'll have to make a video about what requirements are and how to make the best out of the thing for these videos, because we got to ramp that thing the hell up. Okay, so that was my thing on that. Jamie, when does Ghostbusters come out?
Ghostbusters, the new film, comes out in November, and hopefully I'll be covering the event. There's a couple of cinemas that are going to be showing it, and we're all going to dress up as Ghostbusters and attend the cinema, and hopefully get a free screening and as much as we can eat as well. That's
fun.
That's going to be fun. Yeah, it's going to be absolutely great.
Sorry it's taking so long
to get here. Oh yeah, got to have the marshmallows. Oh, there's no end of them. In fact, I've got some friends, the Buffalo Ghostbusters. They're actually sending me from the States empty marshmallow packets, the big ones and the mini ones, because you can't buy them in England.
Oh,
really?
Yeah. So they said, "Oh, we'll send you, a couple of packs." And I was like, "No, it'd cost far more than the actual marshmallows themselves. It cost like 20, £30. So I said, "Look, just eat them." And send me the empty packets, and I'll fake, get some styrene and make some fake ones, and then reseal them and then put them on my shelf there.
Oh, that's
so
fantastic.
that'd be great.
Yeah. So they said to me, "How many packages do you want?" I said 6.
They got to eat a lot of marshmallows.
Yeah,
they do.
I've got a couple of friends who want them as well, so I might get them sent. And I also bought a patch off them as well. So
that's great.
Good.
Yeah,
very nice.
Did you ever have Bob on? I can't remember. Bob Anderson?
No.
Oh, I'm going to connect you guys again. Bob's going to write it. He's supposed to be writing a chapter in the new book. But he's doing all this Ghostbusters stuff. And I was just listening to his show the other day, Bob After Dark, and he mentioned that the local chapter, the local Ghostbusters chapter, they were suiting up. They haven't been able to suit up in a while and go to something, and they were all going out to some event. And I was like, I wonder if Jamie's talked to him in a while.
I have chatted to him, but it was ages ago. I think it was like just prior the lockdown. Or could it be somewhere in between? And of course,
it was probably just before, because the last time, that was right after I saw him at C2E2 when we did a podcaster meetup there.
Yeah.
And that's another example of our network communication stuff. None of the Chicago podcasters from our network showed up.
Oh man.
And they were there. Some people were even at the floor, and I'm like, you didn't stop in the room. We had a full room of podcasters that were like dying to talk to us, and none of our Chicago podcasters were there. And I'm like, guys, but we made a bunch of connections.
We were there.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I could if you net me up his details,
I will.
I could do a show with him next. You know what I mean?
All right. You know what? I'm gonna connect you guys right now while we're talking.
Good.
So those were my questions. I'm dying for this. I think this new Ghostbusters movie looks awesome. Although I know everyone hated the last one. I liked the one.
I didn't.
The one with
I liked the last one. Yeah.
No,
we liked
no.
that one. We
No.
liked that one. I mean, it wasn't great, but I loved it.
It was awful. It was the most. You know what I mean? Put it this way: I bought it. I did buy it on Blu-ray from the pound shop when it was in there for £1. I thought, well, I'll buy it now just so I've got it in my collection. But it is a terrible movie, and I'll tell you what, every single person, when me being a male says I don't like it, they automatically jump in and goes, "Oh, you're a toxic male because it's full of females." No, it's just it was a really bad script. You had a real good actors in it that are from Saturday Night Live, just like the originals. But the script was just terrible, and the cameos were just like forced in. It was just a very bad film. And to be fair to it, I think, do you know when they had those Sony email leaks that came out? There was a massive story behind the scenes, with Ivan Reitman and the production team behind Ghostbusters 2016 would have made a fantastic documentary, with a backstabbing, because they didn't want Ivan to direct. They wanted to go a totally different way. And unfortunately, it bit them on the ass. So what they done? Well, they fell back into, do toxic fangs know best? Well, apparently we do. You know what I mean? So his son's making a film. It's a callback to the original, and there's a lot of people on board. To be fair, the amount of waiting we've done for this film has been terrible, because technically I should have that film on my shelf now. Because it's been, even the kids. Yeah, the kids that are in it have probably got kids themselves now. You know what I mean? It's been that long, and it's been like the only reason the next
movie, Jamie. The next movie will be in 2 years, and they actually will have their grandkids featured in the.
Yeah. Well, the mini Stay Puft Marshmallow Man you saw in it. The only reason they released that clip is because all the food tie-ins in merchandise were running out of date. That everything was going to be for the best.
I saw the cereal at Kroger before.
I said to a couple of friends, I said, hey, you best eat that cereal really fast because it's going to go out of date real soon. That's the only reason we've had that those mini staples. But me, I would love to have seen that first time in a cinema. I would have been gone, oh my God. But now
that would have been shocking. That would have been awesome.
Yeah. But now I've seen it everywhere. It's going to be, there's more clips of this film on the net that I'm going to be like going, when's the something new? Because believe me, the amount of people, Ghostbusters fans I've talked to, they can't stand cornfields anymore because it's just cornfields.
They keep showing that same clip. Yeah.
They're just sick of it.
It still looks so cool.
It does look really good. They are fine tuning it as we speak. You know, they've tweaked it here and tweaked it there. And the last trailer that's just released, there was before that, a lot of us were going, do you know what? I'm just not bothered with this film. Just can't be arsed with it. But that last trailer that popped up, and I was thinking, do you know what? I'm back on board.
Yeah, right.
100%. I'm back on board.
Every time you're out, it pulls you back in.
Yeah. But a lot of people thought, why couldn't they not release that trailer on Ghostbusters Day? Right. All we got on
Missed
Ghostbusters
opportunity.
Day. Yeah, it was. All we got on Ghostbusters Day was actually Jason Reitman doing an advert for a PC. We've shown a little bit of a clip of the Ecto One on it. Yeah, and that's all we got. I was like, really?
You know you just said something that also I'm thinking we should have a calendar of the days. Like I know there's Alien Day and Star Wars Day. We should have Ghostbusters Day, and there's simple social media for our whole network. When it's Ghostbusters Day, Happy Ghostbusters Day from Set Listing Bruce. Does it tie in? No, but it ties in because of Southgate Media Group.
Yeah.
We should have a master list of that.
Right.
Bruce's birthday. Everybody celebrate Bruce's
absolutely.
birthday.
Yes. I always try to do something special on because September is the anniversary of the first Set Listing Bruce, and it is Bruce's birthday. So so absolutely. By the way, Jamie, I don't know if we've met. I'm Jesse. It's good to meet you, sir.
Hello.
And,
Yeah, I'll see your name all over the place.
Well, the civil rights leader, yes, as well.
It's my birthday in September as well, and we planned last year for my 50th to go to Florida to see the Millennium Falcon, the one thing that I've always wanted to see, and of course, pandemic.
COVID.
Yeah. And so we booked for this year, and we were waiting because the States is still on the red list from the UK.
We are.
You could go from your place to us, but we can't go to you, right? And we got a message saying that on is it Union Day or something? They were going to announce, Joe Biden was going to announce if we can, but apparently the travel people have found out that no, he's not going to make the he's not going to make the call. So everything is now cancelled till the 21st of September. So that means my holiday again for my 51st cancelled again. So it's next year.
We feel your pain. We have canceled our trip to the UK 4 times. We were supposed to go for 4 months.
And we canceled our trip to Florida.
It's a long trip, and it was like all these things, all these projects, and I'm like, oh my God, we have to, it's still not going to work.
We had a massive podcast related. Somebody's got a lot of noise in the background. We had a massive podcast related tour of the UK. You have no idea the cool stuff we had planned. All on the back burner. You would have. And we actually had plans to go at Thanksgiving. We were going to go down to Florida. And I mean, come on, man. Star Wars and Marvel. It was like, come on. Harry Potter. My God, I can't wait. And with Delta, I'm waiting. No. I don't need to get a side of Delta with this trip, so we'll wait.
Hey,
okay.
I got a visit from Charlie Esser. Come on.
That's about the same.
Okay, wait. Tyler, what did you want to say about Ghostbusters?
We'll jump back. What I was gonna say about Ghostbusters was the thing with the 2016 reboot, and I was studying this when I was working on my script and stuff, was the first Ghostbusters wasn't completely approached as a comedy. If you just read the script itself, there's funny beats and stuff in it, but it's taken seriously, and it's the actors that really brought the comedy. The reboot was shot, directed, edited to be a comedy.
Right.
And sometimes when you're editing or you're doing that, you let takes run long, you do multiple takes, and you go for what part's funniest. Maybe if you listen to the director talk and you go back, like maybe it doesn't play out well, like if you were trying to create a narrative, but you're trying to get what's funniest. And that movie was made to be a modern day comedy. Whereas I feel the first Ghostbusters was made with the sense of making a good movie.
Yeah.
That's lasted time.
Right.
And I think there's a huge
I agree with
difference
that.
in there. Also, I feel like they took more inspiration for the 2016 from the cartoon aspect.
Yeah.
With just then the way the films kind of kept themselves in a pocket while the cartoons kind of kept themselves over here. And they tried to mangle it. I got more vibes from that film from like Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed, the comical play with like the effects and the color and like the little bit larger than life.
Yeah.
So
See, I liked it in its own silo. I liked it as what it was, but it does not match in the continuity or anything.
And my thing is like I have a daughter, and
you have a daughter? We didn't know.
Yeah. And like we were watching the Ghostbusters cartoon and she really likes it, but always was like where's the girl character? So like her and I started watching Extreme Ghostbusters, the cartoon, and then I showed her the new movie and she was interested in it, same with my nieces and stuff. So I don't care like about I hate the whole like all women or all men type thing. Like I hate that conversation piece. I just want people that work. But my issue with the reboot was more of you talked about doing this big reboot, but I still feel like you took the same template and put it together.
I agree.
Yeah.
You still made if you just looked at him, you could almost say, oh, so that's the new Winston, that's the new Egon, that's the new Ray.
That's exactly what they did.
Instead of really crafting diverse new characters, you kind of just tried to make a template and do the same thing without anyone realizing it.
Yeah.
And that was where I was like,
and I hated the Leslie Jones character in it so much because of what they did with her.
That she was the token in it. And
very obviously.
Like, oh, great.
They should have let the South Park guys write it and call her Token. That would have been.
I just think you could have cleaned it and made something a little bit more fresh, a different take, with those actresses, and let them do more. And had someone try to be more like nobody in that movie tries to play the straight man role. Like everybody wants to be a little bit more outlandish in their own way.
Right.
And it's almost like they're competing over whose joke gets what.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is with it as well, Tyler, is that you got to remember that Paul Feig, who directs, his other film, he's very near to the knuckle because, when you go and see 2016 Answer the Call, when she's just describing where the slime got to, you think, oh, really? Did we need that? And but bearing in mind that that all the cameos as well were strong-armed into it, because Ernie Hudson at the time, he says he didn't want anything to do with it, but then all of a sudden he changed his tone, and where everyone in the community thought, he's going to be in the film. And he did. He later said, yeah, I'm in it. You know what I mean? So he's had to say, oh, yeah, I'm all up for it. The best cameo in it had to be Dan Aykroyd that just went, sorry, I'm not into it, and just drove off.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But as a film, it wasn't marketed right either, because the Sony couldn't make up their mind if it was a continuation, a reboot, or a remake. And they even put out media where you and I can remember, I just can't find it now, where they did like a digital proton pack, and using it all came apart, it all spun round, and then bits of it started forming the new pack. And I was like, oh, and they even said Dr. Spengler's pack refigure, to Hertzman's pack. And I was thinking, oh, so it's a continuation. Great. And then, of course, when it came out, it wasn't at all. It's just mismarketed. Crap film.
I mean, they didn't put the Answer the Call, I feel like, until home video.
Right.
Like, because none of the posters, even on the when you play the film, it just says Ghostbusters. It doesn't, but then the cover art says Answer the Call. And I didn't realize that it was supposed to be like the subtitle for the longest time. I thought it was like the tagline.
Yeah.
And then they tried to put it as a subline. So like with your same thing is they didn't know like so me and my friend are like, we're gonna do a requel episode on like the monster, Universal monster dark universe type thing. So we've been rewatching the movies for a while of like the different classics. And last night he had never watched the 2017 Tom Cruise Mummy movie. So we watched it as a like dissection, like what didn't work, what is wrong with this, and we kind of were going through it and talking and like making our own notes and discussing with the same thing you just said. Like they didn't know what they wanted to do with it,
right?
How they wanted to market it, if they wanted comedy or horror or what they were doing. And I even read a quote from one of the writers for the scripts who was in the Dark Universe writers room. He even said this is doomed to fail because no one can get on the same page. No one knows what they're doing. They said we're just gonna make it up as we go. And he's like, it didn't say what script he wrote because he just was quoted as, I'm gonna write the worst script I can because it's never gonna get made. Because no one's gonna do this universe.
You know, it's funny you should say that, Taylor, because you know, with the Dark Universe, Universal had the beginnings of the of a multiverse film, you know, just like the MCU. You know what I mean? They had it first with all their originals, and they went down to remake the Mummy first. I know it wasn't Dracula the first one, actually, technically.
Dracula Unborn or whatever.
Yeah, and I quite like that. And the way it finished was in modern spoilers, everyone. Right, it was like a modern day finishing.
Right.
I thought I can't wait to see a sequel to that. But then they went and did a Mummy, and then as like an Easter egg, they had the original Book of the Dead from the original Mummy film. It was the whole. Oh man, the might have just reissued Monster Squad and then just call it a day because that is the best.
It should be the easiest film to make.
Yeah,
like a connected universe for.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
if Abbott and Costello can do it, surely Universal can do it.
Well, Abbott and Costello did it better than anybody. I mean, really.
Yeah.
That movie's still fantastic.
I watch them. I've got them.
That's
on
the one
PC.
I show my
watch them.
kids.
Great.
Yeah. So Scott,
Scott.
Are you on the moon?
You're muted.
In orbit.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oops. Calm down, lady. Oh.
I'm here now.
He's like Dr. Manhattan.
City.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Scott, did you cut your hair?
No.
No, it's just cuts. Oh, it's off. Okay, it looks like you've shaved your head from here. Oh, I see it. Okay.
All right. No. Hang on. Oh Jesus!
Wow.
Oh no!
Oh my gosh.
Oh, we're gonna get like the whole Farrah. You're gonna do like Farrah Fawcett.
Weightless. That's all.
Scott, you got a seat. Have you got a seatbelt on? Is that
awesome.
a seatbelt?
Yeah, he's driving. Are you driving?
Hope you're
Yeah,
not.
I'm driving. Why?
He's not driving.
Yeah.
Hi, Teresa.
I do.
I take it you're driving that Tesla that's in orbit then.
Yes, there you go.
No, we are coming back from the city. We went down to North Ave Beach and watched the Blue Angels.
Oh,
how
cool.
fun.
Bought something from somebody downtown, and now we're heading back.
They used to terrorize us when we had our store because
yeah?
they'd be right over our head. Like, oh my gosh,
during the
everything
Aaron
would
Water
shake.
Show?
You
knew it was
my
Aaron
gosh,
Water Show.
we'd be like, oh my gosh.
What's the
weeks
Blue
they'd
Angels?
practice.
They're a military like F-16s or something.
Oh,
And-
the Red Arrows.
Like the Harlem Globetrotters of
Yes.
planes.
They do like the flying and stuff and the fighter jets. Yeah.
But they do an air water show on the shore here, and it's really I mean, when I was a kid, it was really cool. But when we owned you call him Sulu?
I did the opposite. I always think I'm gonna get it right, and then I get it wrong.
Oh my!
I did something really wrong, but it's okay.
Oh, good.
But yeah, they used to go over our store and we'd have to wait. We'd be trying to talk to customers. It's like, oh my gosh. And everybody would just rattle.
They come in low. It's just like,
yeah, for weeks. Like they'd practice and then like the,
they'll within like inches of each other. Yeah.
That was a traumatizing time of year.
The other thing that was cool at our store, we were in Lincoln Park, and the Lincoln Park Zoo was not that far. And in the summer, we'd have our doors open, and you could hear the lion. Everyone's going, whoa, whoa, whoa. People were like, "What is that?"
From that far away, yeah, it was really cool.
A couple miles away, it was really, really cool.
Amazing.
Yeah,
We've got the Red Arrows.
Too.
You did that? You did that today?
Yeah, so the flamingos and the seals.
Nice.
And the zebras.
Did he sing Kiss from a Rose? It's the best.
Are a lot of the indoor exhibits still closed?
No, they've reopened. They just ask you to mask up for inside.
Mm-hmm.
But they have unrestricted openings now. So
no reservations get in.
Was it crazy? Was it busy?
Busy. I've seen it busier, but there's a lot of people. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it was outdoors, so hopefully it's all right.
Keep left.
Yeah.
I'm like driving.
Signs for I-90 West, Kennedy.
So you guys don't know how to get back from the city, huh?
Yeah, we're coming back out. We're trying
You got
to
to use a
avoid the
GPS
traffic,
to get back from the
but
city.
there's no good way out of the traffic. We're trying to use it for the traffic, but everything is backed up.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
My son decided to have a trip up to the top of Ben Nevis, in England, and he then FaceTimed me, and he had better FaceTime connection than I did on the M62 just down the road. I mean, and I was like, where are you? He goes, I'm at the top of Ben Nevis, this mountain. I was like, God damn, that's good internet. And he was like, yeah,
that's crazy.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
And then he broke Jamie's heart by saying, I'm streaming the new Ghostbusters movie. It's incredible.
I probably will be.
Now there's Sela. Oh, look at that.
Where are you off to, Sela?
We see you, Sela.
Are you going on a journey? You have a suitcase and your mask on.
Yeah, Grandma's here to pick her up for a little bit. So.
Oh, fun. Okay.
She was supposed to go stay the night tonight with Grandma, but that didn't work out. So Grandma's just taking her out for a little bit.
Oh.
Okay. She starts preschool on Wednesday.
Wow.
Exciting.
So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, technically Molly would be starting high school, but she's homeschooled, so she's finishing high school. I don't know what she's doing now.
Good job, Molly.
Yeah.
I'm doing something. It's good.
Yeah.
Way to keep your parents confused.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, technically she should be a freshman this year if we went by that, but you technically could be done with high school next year. Yeah.
Wow. Homeschool. I can't think of anything worse because I like to get up and go, get to school to my kids, just have that free time. Yeah. Then I can play on the PlayStation.
They're like, don't you have somewhere to be? Molly's
no, I'm trying to like, guys, why not? I think you should really go out for a drive right now. You should. Do you have to run errands today?
Yeah. Scott, how is Jacob liking freshman year? Oh, he's there.
Hi, Jacob.
Jacob, how's school?
Jacob, can you
tell him about the French fry fight?
Oh yeah, so like I was in the lunchroom eating lunch like usual. Well, like everyone started to stand up and cheer. I look over and two girls are going at it, just beating each other up.
Wow.
No.
Yeah, and apparently it was over a couple of French fries, and they're not even good there.
It doesn't take much, right? Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Sounds like the UK.
Just fight it out over some chips.
Yeah, absolutely. I once had a fight with a kid over my chips. Me being like a tubby child at school, the bully actually come over to take my chips, and I went, "You take one chip, and I'm gonna stab you with my fork." And he went, "Eh," and he did, and I stabbed him with a.
Wait, didn't that happen at our school too?
No, it happened at Walmart in the break room. And this guy.
There's Teresa.
Hi, Teresa. Hey. Teresa's floating. She's just
floating in space.
This guy took this other guy's food and he stabbed him with a plastic fork.
Wow.
Yeah. Don't get any ideas.
Yeah. Don't take my food.
Yeah, people know not to take mine, so they haven't had to stab anybody.
Yeah.
Once I took her
all
food.
the time.
Oh yeah, that's what happened the one time. Yeah, I bit that thing right off.
I can't imagine getting into fight over school food unless like somebody was trying to put more of it on my plate. No,
exactly.
And I had to fight them off.
It's like,
they were good fries. What can I say? They were good fries.
If it was the Mexican pizza, that was the only thing that like school food was good. It didn't taste like Mexican pizza, but that's what they called it. But it tasted good. So.
But it tasted good.
Our pizza was the only thing. We had the Pizza Friday or whatever. It was the only thing that was edible. The rest of it, hot garbage. You ended up eating, and this sucks because I don't eat like this, but we ate like, you just end up eating Twinkies because it was the only thing you're like, okay, this will keep me going for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
So everything was
had
just
like
garbage.
Oh.
Yeah,
I
in my
love
high
that.
school, they had really good chocolate chip cookies. They're like really big cookies. And there were days when I just had a huge cookie and a lemonade, and that was it.
So
my mine was
sugar.
I would wait till they had like, I'd ask for the burnt pizza.
Oh.
Because they would give you like 2 maybe slices for the price of 1 because they were burnt. I was like,
good call.
I'd pocket that $1.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
spend
my
$1,
dad
get
was-
2 pieces, keep the rest of my lunch money, build up some savings.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow.
So my dad was in the army, so we moved around a
he's
lot.
leaving us.
And so when after my mom and dad divorced, we moved to Louisiana. And so I started going to Sam Houston High School. And after a couple weeks, I mentioned to my mom, they have fish every Friday in the cafeteria. And Louisiana is a very predominant Catholic.
I was gonna say, I know what that
population.
means.
And yes, exactly. And I was like I had, growing up in a Southern Baptist church, had no thought about being, fish on Fridays, much less Lent. But that's the first thing I remember from a lunchroom, right? Is this, why are we having fish on every Friday? So
That's funny. I once nannied for a little girl, and her mom put her in a Jewish preschool, and they were not Jewish, so I wasn't really sure why she was. So I'd take her to a temple school, and the first day the mom got called at work, and she said, "Could you please tell your nanny to not bring your daughter with ham?" Because I had no idea. I was like, I just made her lunch. I didn't know. And,
exactly.
And I
Yes.
was like, oh my gosh, I'm such an idiot. Like,
She sent her with ham to a Jewish
I sent
school.
her with a ham sandwich because I was raised Catholic, and we don't look outside the Catholic, like no one.
Catholic school.
You're not supposed to know anyone who's not Catholic, and so I was like, I didn't know what I was.
So we moved up here from Kentucky, of course, not a lot of Catholics. And like when I started working in the bigger office with more people, the first Ash Wednesday.
Oh,
yeah. You're like,
no, it was Rosemary.
Yeah,
the pretty one. And I'm in the lunchroom, and these people are coming through, and I say to one of the young ladies there, I'm like, hey, you got a little thing in your head there.
Oh my god.
And she's like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, it's right there.
And I was appalled.
yes.
Oh yeah, I had no idea about that.
That's hilarious.
What part of Kentucky, Scott?
No, Western Kentucky, Mayfield. Mayfield, Murray, Paducah.
The Kentucky Bourbon Trail is one of our favorite vacation spots. And
we lived in the Dry County.
Yeah. I've told the story multiple times. And back in 2012, we drove from Dallas, went up did first part of Kentucky Bourbon Trail, then drove up to Cleveland, watched Bruce perform, then did a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, then came back, did the second half of the Bourbon Trail, then went home. We called it our Bruce and Bourbon Tour. Still one of our best vacations ever.
Where did Bruce perform in Cleveland?
The big arena, the big
Gonorrhea?
whatever. Yeah, the big
It used to
arena.
be called Gundarena. We always called it gonorrhea.
Yes.
Nice.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's where my family, both of my parents were born and raised in the Cleveland area, and all my aunts and uncles, cousins, everybody.
And we visited there a lot.
So we're there when there's not COVID, we're there fairly often. But
yeah.
Yeah.
So where's that Bourbon Trail at? We've never done that.
Bardstown.
That's getting a little thirsty. He's thinking about going down there right now.
Yeah, Bardstown, Bardstown, Frankfurt, Louisville. So there's a whole. If you do a Kentucky Bourbon Trail, they're all kind of centrally located, and they talk you through the science and the art of making bourbon. You get a sample at the end of the tour. And each of them, whether it's Wild Turkey or Four Roses or, all the different, each have a different tour, and each they kind of cover a different idea of the whole. Bourbon is the only official U.S. liquor only, and so it has to be made in the US and has all these rules on it. And so it's a really fun, and that central part of Kentucky is pretty. So
it is.
Yeah. And I love Mammoth Cave, which is another great national park there, that huge cave to go visit. So
we didn't get to do that, but I was actually born in Lexington.
Yeah.
My parents are from that part, but we moved around the country and then ended up in Western Kentucky. We were in a dry county.
Surrounded by dry counties.
Surrounded by one wet county, surrounded by other dry counties. And one of my school bus drivers got arrested for bootlegging because she was selling beer out of the back of her pickup to the factory workers.
So Scott, when like I said, my parents divorced. I settled in Louisiana, spent most of my life till like 72 to like 86. My wife and I got married in 84 and we moved to Dallas, and I had no concept of a dry area coming from Louisiana. Like what, well, where's the beer? Well, this is a dry area, but across the street, the Kroger at the cross street would have beer, but the Tom Thumb or the Safeway, just across the street would be dry where you couldn't order. And you would we don't have it as much now, but you used to have to buy a membership to order a glass of wine. You would have to buy a membership because private clubs could sell alcohol, and in Dallas, so it was very since I was always the designated driver, it was no big deal for me. But Linda and I had to do that so Linda could enjoy a tasty beverage.
Yeah, we were the county to the north of us was wet, and after a couple of years, they put a liquor store literally right across the border, the county line.
Yes,
and the highway patrol would sit out there too and watch everybody and make sure they weren't already already opening them for the drive back. But that was a bit of a culture shock because I came from Tulsa before that.
Yeah.
And it's quite different.
Yeah. It really was. And when I moved down there, I moved from here, and they beat their children in school. They battled them.
They did that here.
Catholic school.
Your
When I
Catholic
was
school,
a kid,
yes.
Well, no, not in public school. When I was a kid here, I was appalled. And then I remember this little shithead, Wayne somebody or another, who stuck a bluegill.
Wayne Knight?
No.
He's right there.
No.
It all comes back around.
He stuck a bluegill in the VCR of Mr. Oldham, the music teacher's room.
Like a fish?
And we couldn't watch Sound of Music because when he ejected the tape, there was like a fish eyeball on it and the VCR wouldn't play anymore.
How the hell did he find a bluegill?
What?
Chicken.
Kentucky.
But he just had it handy? Like he just had it in his backpack?
But it's Kentucky. He had it in his pocket.
In sixth grade.
Backpack.
In sixth grade, for whatever reason, in sixth grade, he had a bluegill with him in music class.
It was the Sound of Music or Fiddler?
Oh, it was Fiddler on the Roof. That's what it was. I mean, if it was Sound of Music, I would have been all about stuffing that bluegill in there.
Wow. I know
What
someone.
Dukes of Hazzard life did you live?
I know someone who pooped in one of the backpacks in fifth grade. Someone's backpack.
I don't know the person who did it.
Oh my God, we all got taken out into the hallway and lined up, and it was like, say who did it. You're gonna go to therapy, and you're gonna, and then it's like everyone's standing there. I'm like, who the hell would poo in someone's backpack? Like,
is that why Rob
insane.
asked? I'm sorry, Martha. Is that the reason why Rob asked, "What's the most embarrassing thing happened to you in high school?" Because of that experience on the three
No, but
questions?
I haven't gotten to her 3 questions yet.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll have
I
to
know.
add that.
Yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I don't know. What was the most embarrassing thing? Oh, there's probably quite a few, but yeah, that one I didn't poo in his backpack, so I don't know what the heck that was. I just thought it was so weird. I'm like, what the hell? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, who would do that?
I graduated high school in 77, so I'm older than most of you. And I definitely can remember in elementary school and junior high, a paddle, the board of discipline being hung in the the teacher's room, and and it was nothing. I mean, you didn't even think about complaining to your parents if you got
or pooing in a backpack.
Yeah, exactly. It happened. Yes.
Yeah. We had in Catholic school there was a lot. I mean, at least for me, there was a lot
of pooing. Yep.
No, there was a lot of hitting and taking hair and punching your forehead into the chalkboard and slamming desk lids down on top of you. Like lots of things. And holding Bibles. I had to kneel and hold Bibles.
I went to Catholic school in the 80s. They didn't hit us, but like they would scream at us at the top of their lungs, but like you look at this wall, you don't move for like an hour, stuff like that.
Well, Linda is left-handed in everything except writing because the nun would not let her, she kept making her write with the right hand.
Writing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
They did that to a friend of mine. They forced her to be right-handed.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Linda, talks about that's her reason for a horrible handwriting, and she does everything else left-handed, but she writes right-handed.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Very strange. Yeah, it has nothing to do with why Molly's homeschooled at all.
Well,
like my background, nothing to do with it.
I always think of Don Henley, the interview he said where don't most of us spend our adult life trying to get past what happened to us in high school?
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of truth to that. Absolutely.
Don Henley of the Eagles said that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. You should introduce them to Bernie.
Yeah.
This is Bernie.
This is Bernie, and look at her. Look at her fancy.
Every single.
Show her fancy nails.
Except for her face.
Wow, she's such a good cat.
She's so awful. All right,
she isn't pushing to get away though. She's just kicking.
Okay, see how pink?
Fluff.
See, we mentioned Don Henley and Bernie. I was thinking Bernie Milner, the guy that left the Eagles. So, very nice.
Yeah, she's very fancy. This one.
Yes.
So she doesn't destroy our furniture.
Another female in that house uncomfortable with Rob. Okay.
Yeah. What were you saying, Jesse?
Here.
No.
Cowboy dad.
Yes. So, Rob, I don't know if we're trying to close up straight at 2 hours, but we are hitting close to that. I did want to give an open invitation. Any of you who have not attended, Rob mentioned this earlier, but I am my music podcast is called Set Lusting Bruce, and where you don't just have to be a Bruce Springsteen fan. If you are passionate about any band or type of genre or musician, I would love for you guys to join me. I do B-side episodes where we talk about it. And so I just want to throw an open invite that come join me on the show. You can promote your podcast. We'll talk a little music. We'll talk a little Superman or whatever you're passionate about. And I would love to have more members. I feel like we don't cross-pollinate enough with Southgate Media.
Not enough.
And I really would love, Phil's been on the show. Rachel already has booked up time. Martha has joined me. Haven't had Molly yet. So we need to have Molly join.
Molly's over here going,
go on.
Well, I never put myself forward, Jess, because I don't like Bruce Springsteen, and I thought he was just.
No. It's okay. The only thing
I don't either. Really, I want to go on and talk about Wilco, but Jamie, you're safe.
Yeah, to be fair, there's only one song I do like from Bruce Springsteen, and that's Philadelphia.
I love that song.
Right, the song that gets on my nerves is his Christmas song, and it sounds like he's just a pub singer in that. And I'm like,
great. Wait, which one is that?
Santa Claus is coming to town.
Santa Claus is coming, according to Junior.
I shut the radio out the window. I think, God damn, I can sing better than that.
And according to Junior, one of my co-hosts on How Many, his biggest song, Junior will quick tell you, and he will make the joke that, so when Bruce performs live, what does he do after after Santa Claus is coming to town? What else does he do in his concerts? The only thing I have you guys do, this is my shtick, it's my version of an actor studio, is I do ask any of my guests to take the song Thunder Road, listen to it, read the lyrics, and then I ask every guest ends the show with, does Mary get in the car at the end of Thunder Road? And that has been, I end every show with that question, and it's always a fascinating discussion because about 60% of the people say yes, she does, and about 40% says she doesn't.
I've got my Thunder Road just here. Look at that.
I don't think I know that track.
That's my Thunder Road.
Very nice. So what I'll do, reach out to me and then, either through, our Slack channel, or let me know, and Rob can connect us with email, and I'd love to get you guys on, and it's a fun time.
You guys are all on Slack.
Yeah, there we go. Good.
Just put on there, here's my email or whatever. Just make your connection. Slack, we should all be on there actively.
Yeah. And by the way, as guest listeners, if you're listening to this is an open invite. You don't have to like Bruce Springsteen at all. In fact, I've had people on the show that hate Bruce Springsteen. That's fine. As long as you love music and you're passionate about something, we will find something to talk about.
Sure.
Sounds good.
Yes. End of my plug. Sorry, Rob.
Sorry, this is a block party. Of course we're going to plug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been on, I haven't been on, I've been in voice on your shows, Jamie.
Yeah.
But I haven't guested there, and I haven't guested on Superman yet, but I've been on the other shows.
You've been on my Radio Free Endor.
But just as a voice.
No. I've had you as a guest as well.
Guest?
Yeah, I've had you on as a guest. Yeah.
Oh, good that he remembers that.
Yeah.
I did the one where I did the voiceover. I completely misread what you were doing. I hated that voiceover I did. I wish we could go back and do the Ritual of Endor again.
Do you know what? I did think that again, but it was mostly for myself actually, because I thought, God, I sound like. But do you know what? That intro is my favorite.
It's great.
I can't seem to get myself out of that, because I did start writing one called the Hotel Endor, and was it the Hotel Endor? I've got it on my PC, and I got so far, but it was like all these guests. It was like the Tower of Terror, that kind of thing, the Twilight Zone. So all these guests will be coming in, and it's like I had Jason Christman coming back in, but he is the werewolf in the room, and it's just like crashing it. Then I was going to get you coming in. I was going to try and get some other members from Southgate Media to come in, and it was like a whole ghost story set around this hotel. But I just kept coming to a block, and then I just kept listening to the other ones I'd done. I was thinking, that's it. Then nope. I just can't seem to, because that was just so good. Do you know what? The sound effects, I don't know if you've all listened to it, but the sound effects and the mood of it just captured it, I think. It just, for a little, from a film to then just
it was great. I just
it was
think
about half hour, wasn't it? It was about half hour, but it was just really, really good. You know what I mean?
I just misread the character in it. So that's why when I did one for the Moon Knight show, it's not part of our network. I played a character on that. Molly did too, but I played a character on that, and I brought it there. And afterwards, Ray was like, "Wow, you went super serious and dark." I'm like, I had to make up for Ritual of Endor. I really screwed that thing up.
Well, do a special edition version, eh?
Yeah, I'm down for it. I'm down for it. So any guesting, we're always ready for those.
Yes. Coming up soon on our Patreon channel, Rob joined the guys on How Many and picked the bands of his life.
I want to be on that one.
We want to have you on. I think that would be a lot of fun, Martha. Yeah.
I get to talk a lot of different music and ask questions.
Make more Patreon content. Phil, you've been doing a great job. I'm getting a lot from you.
Oh, thank you.
But I got those couple from Jesse. Make some Patreon content, because those, even though we don't have the listeners yet, those shows are some of the best things on our network. I listen to them and I'm like, oh my God, this is so good.
I think me and Tyler did one as well, didn't we? Oh, he's gone. Is he there?
We did.
He's gone. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, you did Requel, which was awesome. You did two of those.
I'll tell you. I've got a right good one, because when we get time, I've got a follow-up to, it's a prequel to American Werewolf in London, called An American Werewolf from London.
Oh, I like that.
We're gonna do that one soon.
Yeah, I've got that one in the back burner.
And Jamie and I we're doing one. We're doing a special episode of Graphic.
Oh man, I'm so.
And we're inviting Bob Anderson from Bob After Dark, who we mentioned earlier. He's going to come out. We're just going to, the three of us are going to talk ghosts.
Yeah.
So that's going to be fun. And then you had that really cool idea for the Patreon.
I did. And I need to like get a calendar and see if everyone's up for it. Basically, I'll do a takeover podcast where I'll be using your jingles and your format, but I will jump in and then I will do the intro and say, oh, hi, I'm Jamie, I took over this podcast, blah, blah, blah. And then I get to interview you as the host, as the other host, right? To talk about the show, what made you get into this genre, into the podcast, into the show, and what made it good. But I need people to like come on board with it.
So Jamie, I'm in. That would be good.
Yeah.
Bob Bland does
Tyler's in.
Yeah, Assume the Juxtaposition does the same thing, that he does that for that. But I would love that, Jamie. It would be a lot of fun. And so let's you and I talk. I just included my calendar. Tyler, it'd be funny if, I don't know if you've read the Elliot S. Maggin novels, the Superman novels, Miracle Monday and that, but I would love to do a Patreon episode of us just doing a book report of his novels, that, because I think those are some of the best Superman stories ever made.
I was actually trying to get an interview with him, and I want to reread them. They were on my summer reading list, but just with the house move and everything. He
was at a convention in Dallas, and I was able to get 20 minutes with him. And it's on, I think, one of Phil's feeds or something. If you do a search, I was able to talk to him, and he was fascinating. He would be a great interview. Yeah, he was great.
I was going to say, Rob, I'm thinking about, I thought about doing this with some people as a Patreon exclusive explicit show called the DC Douchebags. And basically, it's people who love DC just coming on and like riffing on it. And like
I'm on
as like a very satirical like type thing.
Oh, Jamie,
you know what I'm saying?
He's on for that one too.
So like you just the idea was like we come up with like character names. We don't use our real names. Like we were spitballing and it was all like really like
that was
stupid
fun.
Stuff.
Sure.
A few years ago, didn't we do an episode, Phil, where we had a big crossover and we all talked about our geek blind spots.
Yeah,
that was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Where we had 4 or 5 people from around the network and we all talked about.
It sounds awesome.
Yeah, like it was like, I've never watched the X-Files. I've seen a couple episodes. I know. See,
it's on Disney.
That's a blind spot, right? That and I watched a couple episodes, when Zan and Charles were doing it and enjoyed. But that was just one of those, it's just a blind spot on mine. Like Phil going, I've never watched Doctor Who. It was a really good episode. We should talk about doing that again.
Yeah, I have a lot of blind spots because I haven't watched any of these geeky things, but I've watched, I've seen X-Files. There you go.
I like the idea of doing that kind of thing where it's like you kind of do a show or like a topic. We'll use Doctor Who, for example. We'll say we'll do geek blind spots, Doctor Who, and then you get some people on. Phil, I'm not super familiar. I know enough to get by, but I've not watched it like linearly enough to like tell you everything.
Mm.
And then it's like you watch it, you like say, hey, watch this episode, kind of.
Yeah.
And then we get together and we talk about it and like what's our interpretation, like how do we feel?
No, I love that, Tyler.
About anything, because like the X-Files, that was one of those like I saw some, but I was never like consistent. A lot of stuff back in the day before the beauty of the internet, you just if you missed out on if it wasn't home in time to watch it.
So let me jump in here on that. Oh, go ahead, Jesse.
No, I was just going to say I've done that with Set Listing Bruce. I haven't done it recently, but I picked 10 lesser known Springsteen songs and I had Springsteen newbie songs. So like I would find, someone who's apathetical about Bruce and I would give them the link to those 10 songs and then they would listen to them and then I'd have them join me on the podcast. And I don't care if they hated them, don't care if they liked them, but it made for a good discussion.
That was really cool.
That's what I want you to do with me. You can do that one with me.
I would love to do that.
Okay, Scott and I. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, okay.
I'd love to do that because, when I was a kid in the 80s, I was a fan of Bruce at, when he was super popular and stuff.
Yeah.
And, I listened to a few of the things here, but I've just never dug deep or kept up with it.
Yeah, Scott,
but,
that
would be fun.
Yeah, I'll send you that. Like I had a guy who is a huge Bee Gees fan, and he talked about that when people say, I don't like the Bee Gees, his first question is, have you listened to anything but Saturday Night Fever? And I said, yeah, the same thing. I don't like Bruce Springsteen. Have you listened to anything besides Born in the USA? Right. So yeah, Scott, that would
Santa
be great.
Claus is coming to town.
Santa Claus is coming to town. There you go. So yeah.
I would love to do that, Jesse.
Okay, great. I will set this up and we'll go. It's a really fun episode because it is not 10 hits, it's 10 songs. And like I said,
do deep cuts because I know
exactly.
hits. I don't want hits. And that's how I fell in love with so many of the people that I had kind of gone, I don't really like their stuff.
Taylor Swift.
But that's what the Rolling Stones, the Van Morrison, Tom Waits, like tons of people, like where our friends said, here, just listen to these
The
songs.
singles are never half as good as anything else on the
So
album.
I would absolutely adore that. That would be great.
Okay, great. We'll make it happen.
Sounds like we need a guesting thread. It's like, hey,
yeah, we need a guesting thread.
Yeah.
Where's our admin?
I'll make
Rachel, are you listening?
We do have one guest thread that we could be using. I think there's an internal guest thread, and then the other one, because the other one is when you have a guest on your show that you think, hey, they'd want to be on other stuff, which I get constantly.
Oh, Molly has that a lot.
Throw them on that thread.
Yeah.
And you can be the contact person. You can say like, hey, if you want to interview, Peter Bagg, write to me.
We have a guest exchange.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Guest so we need one for that. And we need an internal
on Slack,
one.
and you created a spreadsheet at one point.
Oh, here she goes.
Who did? He did?
Rob did all the way back.
Oh, that
in
would be
July.
Molly. I was like, Rob has never created a spreadsheet.
Well,
It's like,
he
that would
posted
be-
it.
If
I have an
no, I
MBA.
posted it
I've
from his
created
account.
plenty of spreadsheets.
Oh,
I posted that from his
Talk
account.
to the handed.
When it
Oh
has
my
to do with our
God.
company and it's an admin
Molly
thing like
does it.
spreadsheets, and you did not create it, Rachel, that means
Yeah.
I probably created it.
But it doesn't look like anyone's really used it.
Right. Well, now we know it's there.
Yes.
So we can start throwing stuff on there.
Because the guest exchange channel has not been used since mid-July. So,
all right.
I haven't had any real guess.
You heard it here, folks. It
So-
exists and we can use it.
We're at the end of our time.
All right.
I do want to say one more thing, though, since we were talking about all this. You guys, you had all these great ideas for these Patreon shows and all that, which is awesome. Keep doing it. The concept of the Patreon, and we got to promote the damn Patreon.
Yeah.
We only have a couple people on there. We want that to grow. And listen, here's how it's going to work. In the $5 tier, it's supposed to be a special episode of a regular show. Okay. So once a week, there's a Set Listing Bruce, and then the next week there's a Radio Free Endor, and the next week there's whatever. And if you do that, then you only have to do one extra episode like a year. Okay. So that's easy, right?
Yeah.
And then the $7 tier, $2 more, they get, and right now I say that they only get one a week. They get a passion project. They get a requel. They get a Geek My Kid. They get some of these things we're talking about. That's where they're going to get this, although I think I'm going to put this on the regular one this time. And when this thing is working, we can take that $7 tier and we can put, I mean, if everyone was creating like that, we'll put one on each one, like each day, because it doesn't matter. We can start loading it up and making that the thing that people go to. Then it makes it easy for you, like Jesse, you have a Patreon. So now we've got this thing pumping and you're creating a couple extra shows here and there that go on our Patreon, but you can promote your Patreon. So if they like what you're doing here, now they're driven back to your Patreon and we've got more patrons there. So the whole idea is we're creating these funnels that are going in and out, but right now they're stagnant. It's like everyone turned the water off.
And-
so you kind of get the vision for how the Patreon works and you understand it's leading to money for you too, right? Yes.
And I'd say word of mouth too. I mean, every episode we do, I say, go check out our Patreon, go check out Southgate Media Group Patreon, just every single time.
Yes. And if you guys send me show notes for your episodes that we put on Patreon, which there's the hint, send me show notes. And if you don't know what to write, talk to Charles, because Jesse is not the guy, apparently, from what we heard. But put in there, like Set Listing Bruce's Patreon is here. Come get more content if you like this. And guess what? People that listen there, they're Patreon supporters. I know that I follow a bunch of Patreons out there. I don't really support any right now, but I have in the past. And you get a mix. You get a little bit of free. You get some other stuff, and it's like, man, if I know that stuff's out there, I think I'm bleeding.
Oh no!
What?
Am I bleeding?
What the hell did you
Is
do?
it chocolate poo or blood? I don't know.
It's like a whole cut. Where did you do
We'll
that?
find out.
The mortal wound on Rob means it's time.
Next time, next time you see me, I'll be missing a hand.
And he tried to take my French fries.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's blood. I don't know what I did. So there you go. I got my Patreon thing out. I got my business part of it out. But I loved this. This was so much fun, you guys. I
It's
wish
great to see everybody.
See, everybody loves it, but then when there's no communication, it's so hard to make these happen.
Yeah.
The idea is to do a summer one and a holiday one. So we will post the thing about the holiday one.
Awesome.
The holiday one, the original concept, so you guys know, when we did the very first one, we tried to make it a holiday party, and we wanted it to feel like you truly were at one. So everybody kind of had, some food they were eating while we were talking. It was supposed to be mingling, and it was so cool. And then we put music in it. We could do that. It's just when there's no communication, it's like, okay, well, God, I hope there's more than 4 people on a Zoom call. Am I bleeding on this side too? Oh no, that's this arm.
No.
Okay, it's just this arm. All right.
Okay, I'm kind of grossed out now.
That's gross.
Okay.
I'm
just kind of worried that what's under the desk. Like what's
no,
it's fighting down there.
This is crusty. So this happened earlier somewhere. Okay. I don't know.
You just didn't. It's like a whole cut. How did you not know?
Was it the Chris puppet? Did Chris do it?
Did he bite you?
No, Chris.
I gotta pop off here.
Oh yeah, that was me.
Do we want to go
I have
around
no
the
idea.
table and give it how to reach us?
Yeah, do it.
Yes.
Okay.
All
All right, I'll start us off. I am at Jesse Jackson DFW on Twitter. You can hear me on Set Listing Bruce here on this fine network. Next Stop Everywhere with my partner in time, Charles Skaggs. And me and my buddies do every couple of weeks a How Many podcast, which is basically where we take a pop culture topic and debate how many of those are significant. Would love to hear from anyone. And as I said, if you're passionate about a musician, a band, or a genre of music, reach out to me and join me on the show.
I'm just going to jump on here because I got to go.
Okay.
I'm Tyler. You can find me on Krypton Report. On Twitter is Krypton Report Pod. And anywhere on social media is Krypton Report. So find me there. And then I do a Patreon exclusive show called The Requel Show. Basically, Jamie's been on it. And basically we take a IP, any kind of property, and we decide, would we take that franchise? Would we make a sequel, reboot, a reimagining, or would we take somewhere in the middle and like do a jump off there? It's kind of like we pitch to each other what we would do with that property. And that's what we do. So see everybody.
Maybe invite me on there sometime, Tyler.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That's a fun.
That one's open for anybody.
Invite me on.
I did. I sent you a message just now that you and I
did you?
Yeah, we never have gotten together. I was like, let's do this one.
You can't see it through all the blood. That's
before he bleeds to death.
I gotta go.
Who's up next?
Bye, Tyler.
Bye, Tyler.
I'll jump in because I'm due to go bed because I've got to be back up for about 4:45 in the morning. Right. So yeah, my name's Jamie Burns. I'm the host of Ghost Heads UK podcast and Radio Free Endor, Star Wars and the Ghostbusters podcast. You can find me at Jamie_R_Burns on Twitter, on Facebook and Twitter for both. Just look for Radio Free Endor and Ghost Heads UK. Now, I'm always in line to look for ghost stories coming up to Halloween. So I'd like to get a collection of people's ghost stories, people's experience.
Oh,
to put them on the show. And of course, hopefully be doing some graphic tales. We'll talk ghosts and UFOs. Another love.
We're talking UFOs, but we're starting with ghosts.
I like
Bigfoot.
Well.
We're talking Bigfoot.
Yeah, Bigfoot. I like Bigfoot as well. So I'm all over the place. I'm even on Twitter. No, not Twitter. Sorry, TikTok as Ghost Heads UK as well. Done a couple of videos on there. See how it pans out. But yeah, you can reach me. You know what I mean? I'm always there. And yeah, send me anything. I'm always online. Always good. Always good to add some new stuff to the podcast. Yeah.
Love it.
Who's up? Rachel. Oh,
well, you can always take a screenshot of my background.
Yeah, exactly. That's smart.
Although actually now I need to update this because I wasn't on TikTok when I made this, so I should update it. So, but anyway, yeah, I'm all over the place. So I've got my personal stuff, although my blog I have not updated in ages. But you can always find me with the 5-ish Fangirls because we're every week. We're just a pop culture entertainment podcast, so the topic varies week to week. And then I also do Gold Standard every other week, which is the Oscars podcast I do with DJ Nick and Zan Sprouse, and we are watching and reviewing every single Academy Award winner for Best Picture in chronological order.
So cool.
Nice.
All right.
All right. Phil, you were jumping in?
Yes. Yes, I'm Phil. You could find me and my friends talking everything Marvel and DC Comics, comic books, TV, movies on the Capes and Lunatics and the Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks. We do a bunch of shows on each one. We always love feedback, so email us capesandlunatics@gmail.com. I can find links to the various social media. We have a ton of social medias. We have a YouTube channel, a Patreon. We even have merchandise. You can find everything at Linktree, linktr.ee/capesandlunatics.
Excellent. Martha, you want to go?
Sure. Martha Southgate, and you can find me on, I do Broken to Brave with Rob. And
that's me.
That is a Patreon exclusive. Well, as long as he doesn't bleed out, I think I'll still have a partner.
It's clotted.
And you could find me at Broken to Brave on Instagram at Broken to Brave, and on Facebook. And I have no idea if I have anything else to say. Do I have anything else?
Well, and you've been on 100 other shows.
I've been on a million shows, but
like we still have a season of Orange is the New Black. We're going back and doing the first
we're going
season
back.
at some point.
We're going back to first season.
We're going back to the future.
Back in time.
Yeah, we've got some cool Patreon exclusive stuff. In fact, for the marathon, we're planning to do a 20-minute episode of Chester's Mill Report, the very first Southgate Media Group podcast.
It's a reunion.
It's a reunion show.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. We're going back under the dome, Marty. Okay.
Okay. Well,
Scott,
I'm gonna pretend that didn't just happen.
Yeah. Do you want to do it? Well, you know what? My voices are not good today. They're usually spot
just
on.
got to chip in. I've got to go. So I'll see you later, everyone.
Bye.
All right.
Bye. Good to see you.
See you later.
Bye, Phil.
Bye, Phil. Scott.
What?
Give us your
social media. Come on, man.
I am Scotty Smurf on Twitter and Tumblr, where if I see something cool, I make sure to point it out and reblog it. And I am on Instagram as MiloBloom74. I do Magic the Gathering pack openings and DVD openings and such, and sometimes pictures of frogs.
And he's on This Week in Geek. You
and
forget to mention
the
podcast you're on.
And This Week in Geek is my only podcast, and I don't know.
Yeah, I forgot to plug it.
Yes,
I forgot to plug it. This Week in Geek.
You can also find Scott on This Week in Geek as his new character, You Hefnerd. So.
Oh my God.
Okay. Yes. And then I'm Rob Southgate, and follow me on Twitter at rsouthgate.
You forgot
someone.
Sorry, Molly.
Okay, wait, should I go now?
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
All right, I'm Molly Southgate.
I didn't have to end it, but go ahead.
All right.
Save the best for last, really.
Yeah.
Then she should. Then okay.
I was. It was going to be Molly.
Well, I'm Molly Southgate. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook under my name. And I've got my podcast, Read Between the Lines, where I talk to a whole bunch of different authors. A lot of the time it's people like right as their book comes out. We talk all about like their writing process. It's real fun. And you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram under Read Between the Lines podcast, and on Twitter, I believe
Don't bother if you don't look at it.
12, but you'll find it if you just look up Read Between the Lines on there too.
You also have a food blog.
Yeah, I also I thought we were just doing podcast.
Well,
I also have a food blog called What's Molly Making? That every once in a blue moon, I update.
You
today
did today?
I did.
Yeah.
Today I did. And yeah, that's what's
Yeah.
going on.
And she's been on 1,000 podcasts too.
Yeah,
and
it's
then
kind of
follow
hard
the
to-
network. Follow the network on Twitter at SMG Pods, on Instagram at SMG Pods, on Facebook at Southgate Media Group. And I'm personally on Twitter at @RSouthgate, and I never post. But you can find me, I mean, on any of these things, and the links are on all the shows. And I'm on just a ton of shows. So who's chiming in? Somebody got something to say? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, it's not Chris. He didn't have anything to say. So there you go. Thanks, you guys. This was really fun. This was really fun. I enjoyed it quite a bit. And I look forward to the next time we all get together.
The marathon.
Which technically is going to be the marathon, October 2nd. Promote the Kickstarter. It launches tomorrow.
Yay.
All right.
Thanks, you guys.
Bye, everyone. Have a great
Bye,
weekend.
everybody.
See you later.
Good to see you
Bye-bye.
all.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.